It's Colonial League football action. Hello, everybody, from Wilson High School. I'm Bob Dady. Good afternoon. This afternoon, we're going to see two football teams who aren't going anywhere, but they're here today to square off in their year-end rivalry, Wilson and Notre Dame. And working with me today, of course, is my sidekick throughout the year. Actually, two sidekicks. To my right, Dick Tracy. To my left, Coach Tony Coca. The rose between two thorns. Coach, both five. Yeah, I know. Both 5-4. We're very impressed with Notre Dame, first of all, looking at their side. Mark Julian, over 1,500 yards passing. The kid's got a gun.
Yeah, very, very similar teams, Bob. Similar records, similar things they rely on offensively. We'll see more footballs in the air today than you will balloons at a homecoming celebration. But they are two very similar teams. I think, and I know Tony agrees, the key is defense. Whatever team plays enough defense will win the game.
Both of these teams have a wide open kind of football offense, Tony. With Notre Dame, they were kidding us before the game. They may throw 90 passes by halftime. What do you think?
Seeing them last week, I'll tell you what, Julian kid, one of the fastest releases I've seen. Coach Brown has that spread the field type attitude which is unusual for the Colonial League, which I think is going to be something new for the Colonial League, and they have to adjust to it. The kid comes back there, he takes the ball, gets rid of it, they stretch the field, they run the little choice patterns, little dig patterns. I think when I asked him when he's throwing the ball, is the wind going to affect him? No. So I think you're going to see the ball in the air 90 times maybe before the end of the first quarter if they keep the ball that long. But Wilson's concerned about it, no question about that. Right, Coach?
Yeah. I agree wholeheartedly. But our whole purpose today, really, it's just a prime purpose, and that's to acclimate this guy to Saturday afternoon football. Bob, he doesn't know what to do. He's lost. People are identifying him. He's worried about that. Tell him how good Saturday afternoon football is.
It is the best, but he likes the nighttime for obvious reasons. Anyway, Sean Hoffman rushing for Wilson in the top 5 in the league. Notre Dame conspicuous by not having anybody in the top 10 who can rush. So obviously their whole offensive setup is the pass.
Yeah, it's pass, and then set up the run. Talking to the coach, he said, that's what I have to do. He's there. That's what I came in. That's my philosophy. And he's there. He loves it. And he says a big smile on his face every time you talk about passing the ball. And, we can talk forever passing the ball because that's the way I think football should be done. I know there's people that say run the ball, but I just like to say throw the ball because you don't have enough people to cover the whole field.
Well, for Mark Julian, he'll be looking for Paul Del Vecchio for Notre Dame. And it should be a wide open, fun scoring contest this afternoon under an absolutely perfect day for football. A little windy, and it's in the afternoon. Tony Koch and Dick Tracy working with me this afternoon. Should be a good one. Stick around, sit back, relax. Wilson, Notre Dame, next.
Hey, football fans! If you love dealing with a winning team, head to the leader, Kleckner's in Whitehall and Emmaus, featuring GE washers and dryers, GE dishwashers, GE microwaves, GE ranges, GE refrigerators. Plus, Kleckner's features free delivery, backed by their own factory-trained service department. Hurry in for best selection. Make us your last stop and see the savings on new GE appliances at Kleckner's, 2177 MacArthur Road in Whitehall and 575 Chestnut Street in Emmaus.
We're simply the best. Lehigh Valley Honda celebrating 20 years of serving the Valley with simply the best in sales and service. Choose the 2005 Honda Accord LX nicely equipped for just $19,995. Or with winter right around the corner, choose the 2005 Honda Pilot 4x4 that seats 8 for only $28,995. Come visit Lehigh Valley Honda on the Lehigh Street Auto Mile and see why we're simply the best.
And we are back at Wilson High School for this afternoon's football game between Notre Dame and Wilson. And, of course, Dick Tracy, we were talking in the pregame about this young man, Mark Julian from Notre Dame. But for Wilson, DJ Lenahan has 1,483 yards and, in fact, is number 2 in passing in the Colonial League.
Yeah, depending how you look at those stats, Bob, they're all both of them are 1 and 2. But here's I put the stats together. Where do you hear these numbers? We'll get to them after we get under play.
Chris Lewis is back for Notre Dame, along with T.J. Daly on the near side as Wilson will kick off. The Crusaders will receive on this absolutely gorgeous afternoon. A perfect day for football. And Notre Dame plays today against Tennessee, trying to salvage something out of a season that's had its ups and downs, Coach.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, the Notre Dame in South Bend and the Notre Dame here. So you've got a little bit of each. High school and college, and we are underway. Nice end over end. It's going to go into the end zone, and it will be caught by Chris Lewis. And that's where Notre Dame will take over first and 10. Quite a boot.
I would say that the wind is going to play a major part, Bob. That one just got up there, and the flag picked it up, and along with the rest of the wind, just took it. It's a crosswind, and they tell me Notre Dame's been playing a lot of right-handed football.
Chris Lewis is number 21 on the flank. Mark Julian is your quarterback. He'll be out of the gun most of the afternoon, as he did last week. Brian Jung is the other running back, along with Nate Kranick, number 44. Back to pass again, right from the get-go. Here's a pass completed at the 25-yard line, and the completed pass to number 28, Brian Jung, for about 5 yards.
Mark Julian come into the game throwing 114 completions out of 243 attempts. Bobby said 1,544 yards, 13 touchdowns, but 15 interceptions.
2nd and 5, no huddle, as Notre Dame now goes to their quick offense, trying to keep Wilson a little bit off balance. Here's the snap, the handoff to the big guy, Kranick. Nate gets to about the 25, maybe a yard on the play. That's going to bring up 3rd down and a long 4.
It's amazing, Bob, how both coaches agreed to the similarities and those tools that they're going to use in the game. The no huddle does come with a little bit of a surprise to us. There are the backs right now for the Notre Dame Crusaders. You saw Jung, Nate Kranick, you saw him with a short rush. Chris Lewis back to take the kickoff. Paul Del Vecchio, number 18, and Matt Pulcini, number 14.
21, Chris Lewis for Notre Dame kind of hobbled off the field and favoring that right ankle, so we'll see. Notre Dame calls a timeout.
Offensively up front for the Crusaders. Left tackle Mike Degenhardt, Greg Sidlar, Nico Italiani, Dan Cavanaugh, and Mark Frank.
Notre Dame at 5-4, along with Wilson at 5-4. Both teams will conclude their seasons this afternoon. And under the direction, Wilson, of Brett Comp, a fine young man. Dave Brown, of course, the head football coach at Notre Dame. And boy, he's done an outstanding job for his first year. That's always a very unsettling year, isn't it, Coach?
Absolutely.
Number 1.
Defensively, 4 front for Wilson: Ruoff, McCarthy, Monahan, and Heilman. Extremely young. We'll get to that.
Julian will stand back out of the gun at the 20-yard line for this 3rd down and 5. Julian now looking over to the side, Judge. All right, everybody's set to go, we think. Kranick is right next to Julian. He checks his wrist. So he makes sure that he's calling whatever the coach wants. Back to pass, quickly, over the middle, and it's caught at the 40-yard line. A nice reception for Notre Dame, Matt Pulcini, and that is going to be a 1st down. Now there's Mark Julian at his best, Coach.
Absolutely right, Bob. Good call. That was a nice catch in traffic over the middle. We'll watch it again. From the gun, Tony Coca says this kid has such a nice, quick release. That time they threw him pretty deep. Didn't stay under the coverage. And again, the no huddle.
Even though they have the no huddle, they seem to be taking an inordinate amount of time to get these plays off, unless that's part of the game plan.
Well, they're having formation trouble right now, Bob. People out of place.
Back at the 35, pass in the corner. It is a completed pass to Jung, and he is knocked out of bounds. And that'll be a gain of 5 more, and Mark Julian now is 3 for 3 for 20 yards.
And right now you see Wilson in the soft coverage, allowing the short one underneath.
Not only throws the offense off with this quick offense that they have, but the defense, too, has to get themselves assembled very quickly. Julian will throw all afternoon. There's a handoff to Kranick. Nate straight ahead, breaks 1 tackle, 2 tackles, gets over the 50 to the 45, 44-yard line, and that'll give Notre Dame their 2nd 1st down. Nate Kranick.
Most teams use the run to set up the pass, Bobby. Vice versa for the Crusaders. They use the pass, hopefully to set up Kranick as part of the running, as a big part of the running game. Defensive secondary, Wilson will get it in quick. Stocks, Labach, and Brad Walter, all linebackers.
Tony Koch is down at the sideline, and we'll be picking him up shortly. Now Notre Dame on this continued drive, 2 first downs. And again, the handoff to Kranick and Nate straight ahead, and that's their bull as he goes over the 40, inside the 45 to the 44-yard line, pickup of about 1.
And the deep backs defensively for Wilson, picking them up. 26 was Adam Thomas, 7 Ryan Holmes, 28 Stephen Jennings, and 40 Joe Gerbino.
Julian now checking over with the sideline. Isn't that interesting, Coach? They have this hurry-up offense, and then they sit back and they kind of just let time go by.
Well, a lot of times you got to flip-flop your receivers, Bob. Plus, it does give you so much more time to get the play off.
Clock keeps running, and I guess that's good. Back to pass. Julian winds up. Oh, but he gets really nailed as an incomplete pass at the 30, and Mark really took a wallop, and I think he's feeling that one a little bit.
Yeah, that was blind side.
Tony Coca, your comments in the first offensive set.
You know, what they're doing down here, guys, it's not a hurry-up offense, but what it is, it's a no-huddle. They're coming out on the line, and what Coach is doing over there, he's signaling from the sideline to the quarterback, and they have, like, on their wristbands, the whole team has, like, the play. So he'll yell out number 5. Everybody looks at number 5, and then they're going from there. What that's doing, it's not allowing Wilson to sort of get into any type of defensive rhythm because they're not sure if they can go quick or not. So watch for this. This is a Cincinnati Bengal type offense, guys. Back to you.
3rd down and 9 from the 45 of Wilson. Here comes the back judge with the flag, and this could be a little bit too long and on getting started.
Delayed game on the offense.
Tell me while we have the moment, that Chris Lewis flag pattern he just ran, that was incidental contact, wasn't it? There was no call. Got the feet tangled with the DB.
It was just a simple no, what do they call it, incidental contact, just a tangling of the feet. But I'll tell you what, Jillian took a shot on the backside. He was hurting. He's still hurting a little bit.
Walsh is wide to the far sideline. Again, Mark looks, fires over the middle. Completed pass at the 40-yard line. Wow, what a hit. And Paul Del Vecchio took it for a pretty good game, but they're going to be short of a first down in any case. 4th and 5. Whew.
Delvecchio, 40 receptions this season, 628 yards, 7 scores, and a nice 15.7 yards per catch.
Well, now perhaps the thought of going for it has dissipated here, and Dave Brown's figuring we're going to punt this thing away instead. McAvoy will stand back at around the 48-yard line and whistle this one away. There's a fake, and straight ahead for what looks like it could be close to a first down. Nice fake and taking the football. Greg Sanguinito, and he gets it to about the 35. I think they're a little short, Coach, and there's a flag. And from the looks of the Wilson football players, they're saying it's against Notre Dame. Here's the call.
Illegal formation on the offense. Less than 7 men on the line of scrimmage. 5 yards from the previous spot. Repeat 4th down.
You know, when you put those gadget plays in off your punt formation, Bob, sometimes you get people out of place. That time, not enough men on the line of scrimmage for Notre Dame.
Brad Walter, always dangerous, stands back at the 20-yard line of Wilson for this 4th down punt. And McAvoy could put his foot to the ball. He gets some pretty good air under it.
Coach Com couldn't stop talking about Walter's speed.
Here's the snap. They're coming. Here's the boot. Booting it away from Walter. It'll go to the 22-yard line, to the 20, and roll out of bounds on the far sideline. And that's where Wilson will have it for a 1st and 10.
And Lenahan with the wind at his back. Let's give you his numbers before he comes out. 77 out of 156, 1,483 yards, 17 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Only a sophomore, 2nd-year starter.
And for Wilson, your starter is DJ Lenahan, number 11. Chris Labach is 36, your running back. The tailback is Sean Hoffman, and the flanker is Brad Walter. First down for Wilson. Tracy Coca-Dady on a typical Saturday afternoon when football should be played. Here is a pass incomplete at the 25.
Boy, that play was open. Intended for the fullback who was split out. Labach just thrown a little bit over his head.
Lenahan having a great year, as the coach indicated.
Geez. These two between them, Bobby, 399 pass attempts coming in, 199 completed.
And not only that for Lenahan, coach, but he's around the 50% mark, which is not bad. Here's a handoff inside, and getting the carry is Sean Hoffman. He cuts across the 35, 40, 45-yard line, and finally pushed out of bounds at the far sideline. And that's the Sean Hoffman we're used to seeing. First down.
As a team, Wilson has the glorifying numbers of his pass offense, Bob, but watch it here. This lad, only a sophomore, came in with already 1,022 yards rushing.
Bob Frankenfield, assistant AD, head basketball coach, saw him here today. Great to see Robert. He's been around for a long time and one of the premier coaches in the Colonial League. And we're looking forward to being here at Wilson. Dick and I, it's part of the basketball season this year. Out of the I formation, handoff inside, and getting the call is Sean Hoffman, and this time he's stacked up right about the line of scrimmage. No gain.
Number 42 for the Crusaders couldn't make a real good stop, and that was Greg Sanguinito. The backs and receivers for the Warriors. Chris Labach, he'll be the fullback. You've seen Hoffman, Walter, the wide receiver, Adam Thomas, a split end, and the tight end, Mike Ryan. Offensively up front, Tia Stocks, Monahan, Daly, and Heilman.
Second down and 10 from about the Wilson 40. Walter on the flank, Lenahan, the quarterback, and the field general. He's going to get hit immediately, pitches it out, and he gets it to Sean Hoffman, but Sean doesn't get any running room, and he's dumped at the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up a third down. And, Coach, want to say hello to Joey Gerbino's family, Tony, who works at the Northampton County Courthouse with yours truly, her husband Ray, and, of course, their daughter Jenna, who's a sophomore cheerleader. Their son Joey is the leading tackler on the Wilson team, and they told her the other day in the office, I said, when the safety makes a lot of tackles, you got some problems.
That's a problem. Left tackle number 50 is Justin Tellis. Mispronounced him. Defensively, three-man front, Rob McGuire, Nate Kranich, the fullback, does play nose guard, and Chris Unera.
Brad Walter, number 35, near sideline. Here's Lenahan, winds up, fires to the corner. It's a completed pass, and it's completed to Chris Labach, and Labach carries it across the 45 to the 48. Tony, any surprises so far offensively for Wilson?
No, they're basically playing just what the coach has said. Both teams going to try to dink and doink and try to get a feel for everybody. Guys, the wind down here is definitely a factor. Definitely when you're going into the wind, it's going to shorten up your game. When you have the wind, you can sort of stretch the field a little bit more. It's windier down here than maybe people might think up there.
TJ Daly and Van Sickle back for this high punt, a beautiful spiral back at the 15 drop, and Wilson drops on the football at the 12-yard line, and they have the football. First and 10, a big turnover for Notre Dame.
And that play made Coach Coca a prophet. That wind is playing tricks, Bob, and it's not as steady. You know, you'll see it. It's going to come right to his hands. He elected, I was surprised, he elected to try and go with it. Thought a fair catch was in order. Wilson has it surrounded. Daly just goes right through the breadbasket, and there we get Wilson with the recovery.
I think that punt was well over 40 yards in the air, and a very, very nice punt. First down for Wilson, and here comes a flag from the side judge.
Out of a 46-yard punt, Bob, and fumbled.
And a beauty, too. High spiral, a lot of time for the...
Dead ball. Encroachment on the offense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
Good to see Joe Diorio, Coach, and the rest of the officiating crew here this afternoon. Ball spotted at the 16-yard line of Notre Dame thanks to that fumble and the Wilson recovery. 35 and 36, you'll see those numbers. Walter 35, Labach 36. They're going to be involved in a lot of things besides DJ Lenahan, but here's DJ, pumps once, goes to the sideline in the end zone, and it's intercepted. Notre Dame picks it off, and coming up with the football is T.J. Daly.
Well, a lot of the wind is crosswind, and he threw that right into the teeth of the crosswind. Bob, that sort of just hung up, ready for grabs.
And there's a replay for you.
Very high in arch, and I tell you, oh, you can see it being held up. Took the spiral part away.
Krennic is the setback, standing at the 15, and Mark Gillian, very impressed by this young man. He's going to find a home in some, I think, Division II or III school, and probably be a great asset to a head coach. Here's the pass. The corner is completed to Del Vecchio at the 25, and it's a pickup of 5 yards.
And that's what coaches like. You see, he's going to make a little square of the pattern. Receiver that time, number 18, Del Vecchio. And by the time he made his cut, pass was on its way. Quick release.
Julian and Lenahan both in that neighborhood of 45 to 50% completion rate. And as Dick pointed out, a couple of hundred passes between them.
Ryan Holmes, number 7, made the stop that time. Ryan was also in on the fumble recovery. First one, I didn't catch who got the ball later.
4:17 remaining. Here is Julian across the middle, and it's incomplete. Going right instead of left was Chris Lewis, and it goes as an incomplete pass.
And I noticed that time the DBs for Wilson came right up. One of the officials talking to Holmes right now. They chucked a little bit at the line of scrimmage.
If you just joined us, this is the Notre Dame-Wilson football game, and we have no score with about 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter before a pretty good crowd here for the season-ending finale. And we're going to go down as soon as this play is over to Tony Coca to talk about the fact that this game has really changed so much. It's become so much of an offensive game thanks to that pass. Here's Julian. Look at this bullet. Incomplete. It was intended for Matt Pulsini and knocked down at the last minute. Coach, it's a new ball game and a new day and era in football. If you've got wide receivers and a good quarterback, you is a dangerous team.
Yeah, this is what football's the way it's evolving down to the high school level. Everybody out there is going to clinics. They're talking to college coaches. There's no secrets out there. Everybody's willing to share, and I think what you do is when you get to the high school level, my theory was spread the field because you don't have enough athletes on defense because we can't recruit, and let's just play some wide open football. Back to you guys.
Here's the punt, and it bounces at the Notre Dame 45-yard line. Walter didn't have an opportunity, but he didn't need to return it, and it's going to be a 1st and 10 for Wilson. Pretty good field position when you take over at midfield or closer. I think, Coach, the number percentage is over 60% chance of scoring. Here it is.
Defensively deep. Sanguinito, number 42. Interice, 50. Excuse me, the 3 linebackers, and Brian Ward, 54.
Adam Thomas, 26, along with Brad Walter, 35 at the far sideline, wide receivers. Here's a handoff inside, a little skip and a little hitch and go by Sean Hoffman, and he gets inside the 45 to about the 43, 1-yard gain, 2nd down.
5 men deep for the Crusaders. Del Vecchio, Lewis, Van Sickle, Brian Jung, and DJ Bailey.
You really like these afternoon games, don't you?
Well, you know what? I'm happy you're going down to Tony, but I wonder, is it because of his knowledge or is he getting close to that couch? He keeps moving to the left on that couch. He's getting closer all the time.
That's Tony. Give him a couch and
good option.
And a horror movie. Here's a carry by Lenahan as he crosses the 40 to the Notre Dame 38, and he's going to be about 2 yards shy of a 1st down.
Lenahan didn't even look for the option that time, Bob. He just cut it off. This is the old quarterback keeper. Inside. Defensive end box on the pitch man. Good yardage.
Great close-up shots. Chris Popping and his great crew here at RCN bringing you outstanding sound, outstanding pictures, and hopefully a little bit of entertainment from up in the booth and down at the sidelines with Mr. C. Glad to be here on the culmination of yours truly 22nd year of doing football. Here's a pitch out, and almost getting caught in the backfield is Hoffman. He gets to the sideline and tries to get back at least to the line of scrimmage, and he's finally dumped.
going to be a big loss. Tom Van Sickle, number 9, was the first man in the backfield. Made a part of a stop. You'll see it. It's just a pitch sweep. There's Van Sickle up, slows down the runner, and here comes the support. Get him. There you go. Tell you, both coaches said they wanted to establish a run. Neither has done it consistently.
I asked Brett Kopp if he's still enjoying this game of football after 7 or 8 seasons, and he said more so. That's dedication and a love of the game. Here's a carry by Hoffman, and he gets to the 35, and it takes 5 white jerseys to bring him down.
On a fourth. On a fourth.
1,000 yards, Dick, for Sean Hoffman. Tony, a pretty, what do they call this kind of football game? In your mouth or in your face, kind of in your mouth. In your face, go at it each other, and they're really, these two teams are battling well.
I think they call it smash mouth.
Smash
that's
mouth,
what they're trying to do right now. But I'll tell you what, it's very entertaining down here. This is an exciting atmosphere down here in the Colonial League.
No score, 2.5 minutes remaining first half. Julian on the pitch out now, and getting the football and being hauled down for a loss is Tom Van Sickle of Notre Dame.
Well defense. Coach, got to ask you, the last play surprise you? Fourth, I sort of expect they're trying to keep it, but I didn't expect that type of play.
Yeah, that sort of shocked me here, too. But if they punt, it's in the end zone. Hey, Dick, not only do they have a sofa, they got pizza and soda over there. I'm working my way.
Yeah. Now,
the ball's on the 30, and he's on the 12. Why? I don't understand that.
Well, when you mentioned food, now I understand why he's drifting into that area.
There's the assignment called.
Well, we have two of the most knowledgeable men in the game of sports, football and basketball, in Dick Tracy and Tony Coca. Here's Julian. Look at him, looking behind him. Nobody's there. He said, I'll run. 25, 30, 35. Whoa, did he take a wallop at the sideline. And Mark Julian, a lot of chutzpah, boy, carrying that ball, finally gets knocked out of bounds and gains about 3 or 4.
Boy, Wilson is saying what could have been. They had him once for a 10-yard loss. There's the initial rush right by. Here comes the second one. Slips and falls. Now the tuck and go.
He's not taking any chances. He looks behind him. No surprises. Wide to the far sideline is Jake Hughes for Notre Dame. 90 seconds to go, first quarter, and we're still scoreless. Julian. Boy, he goes through a lot of proceedings. Looks left, looks right, looks at his wrist, running to the sideline, being chased and hounded, fires toward the sideline, wide open but incomplete, intended for Jake Hughes, and it'll go as an incomplete pass.
I think they got what they wanted. Julian was able to get outside the pocket and outside the rush. I always thought that's a tough pass. According to Coach Koch and a couple other people, they like that right-hander going to his left. Tony always said it forces him to square his shoulders when he throws.
Holmes and Walter will stand back at the 35 of Wilson for this McAvoy punt at the 22. Here's the snap and the boot. Wobbler over the 50, comes back into Notre Dame territory, back to midfield, and that's where it'll be down. First down for Wilson.
So the third punt for the Crusaders nets 16 yards, no return.
It's pretty much the type of game you expected, Coach, from these two teams, right?
No, I didn't. I really didn't. I thought it'd be like 2 touchdowns to 1 about this time, and going in for a fourth.
Both coaches sporting a 5-4 record, and they're both going to have, one's going to have at least a 500 season, and the other, of course, will have a winning season. Here's the handoff to Hoffman, gets across the 50, 45, slips and falls, and finally pushed down.
Again, prime purpose, both guys, establish a run. The other thing, Bob, they both emphasize, neither one wants to get down and play catch-up. They are worried about playing catch-up football.
Well, a big game tomorrow at the professional level. Of course, the Steelers and the Philadelphia Eagles. Should be a great football game. Great weekend. Weather should hold. Although we are in November and it's starting to get a little bit colder. We'll be joining you for the playoffs next week. Here's a pass to the sideline complete, and a nice pickup. Adam Thomas on the reception. That will give Wilson their second first down of the football game.
Adam Thomas, a very, very reliable receiver this year.
Wilson's played most of the game so far offensively in Notre Dame territory, but they have not been able to capitalize on good field position. Here they are. They find themselves at the 32. Brad Walter is wide to the near sideline out of the I formation. Lenahan's handoff to Hoffman, changing directions inside the 30. I like this young man, Coach.
Oh, yeah. Only a sophomore, already a 1,000-yard, 1,000-yard rusher. In the previous play, Thomas came in with 17 receptions, over 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 17.7 yards per catch.
Okay, we'll come back, and then we'll join Mr. C at the sidelines. It's no score as quarter number 1 comes to an end. Notre Dame and Wilson will be back with second quarter action in just a moment.
Winning takes more than the athlete, more than the coaches, more than the pain and sweat from grueling training.
It takes more to orchestrate the win.
It takes a dedicated team. Bethlehem Sporting Goods and Russell Athletic are that dedicated team. Suit up with Bethlehem Sporting Goods and Russell Athletic. Bethlehem Sporting Goods, your Russell Athletic team headquarters.
You think about the conditions people have to drive in, how they're not always perfect. Then you build the 2005 Volvos with electronically controlled all-wheel drive for confidence on any road.
And we are back on a very sunshiny day here. Of course, at Wilson, this is such a beautiful place. I'll tell you, that it has a college-like, I say this each year, but people agree. They see the panning as we look over the field and across the sidelines. We see the buildings behind us, and it has a college-like atmosphere to it. It's just a wonderful place to come to. The people here have just been terrific over the years, and we enjoy their friendship, and they've been a great help to the RCN4 crew. Beginning of quarter number 2, Coach.
Bobby, you and I have been making a pretty good practice to go down and chat with these coaches. Have you ever seen two young, positive guys the way these guys are? That impressed me very much.
Yeah, you bet. There's a handoff inside to Brad Walter, and the big running back gets about a yard or so to the 28.
Coach Comp said he was more impressed with the enthusiasm for this game, the neighborhood brawl. He said kind of dinners and kids getting together and pep rallies and signs all over the place.
Yeah, and you wouldn't expect that. Neither one of them are going postseason, and with 5-4 records, you would think it's just another football game. Let's finish the year and go to basketball. But these young people in the school really enjoy this Wilson Notre Dame football game. Lenahan slips by one tackler, gets inside the 20, the 15, to the 10-yard line, and finally bounced out of bounds, and he will pick up a Wilson first down.
Again, he ran the option, ran it well. I think he knows he's keeping from the get-go. Cuts it inside, shucks a tackler near the line of scrimmage, and it's clean sailing. Here we see, now this is option. Now the defense plays it well. They play the pitch man. You got to get that inside support. The miss, Lanahan able to get the corner, and a good gainer.
Ball spotted at the Notre Dame about the 9.5, so they will have to score. Operating out of the eye. Lenahan, handoff to Hoffman. He goes straight ahead, inside the 5, cuts back to the 2-1, and no call for the officials yet. He did not score, down to about the 1.5 yard line.
Okay, in the eye that time, and Labatt up, and there is a monster hole on this left side. Boy, that's close.
Lehigh Valley Conference football will be decided after this weekend. It looks like, of course, Easton and Liberty and probably Emmaus and one school from up north. And watch your RCN bulletin board to find out exactly where everybody will be next weekend. Hoffman straight ahead. Touchdown, Wilson. Well, they make it look simple, Coach, but there's a young man who really has had an outstanding year thus far, and he'll just add to his 1,000-plus yards. Here it is.
Yeah, this one, of course, a big one, only 1 yard, but a big one, and that put points on the board for the first time this afternoon. So there you had a little bit of Labatt as the lead. You had a little bit of the option with Lenahan as the keeper. And, of course, we've seen the damage done by the 1,000-yard plus of Sean Huffman.
And the PAT brought to you by Lehigh Valley Mazda Dealers is up and through and good. And it's 7-0 early on in quarter number 2.
Allentown Business School means absolute success with degrees in medical, technology, business, design, and legal study. You get the right skills from specialized training that can put you on the road to success in as little as 18 months.
I graduated in September. By October, I was already working. 18 months, you're in, you're out, and you're on your way into the workforce.
When I came here and graduated in 18 months, this was probably the best thing that I've ever done.
Call ABS today and discover absolute success tomorrow.
They say that nothing lasts forever, but durable, long-lasting Rainer garage doors from AVE Doors and Windows put this cliche to the test. They're made from the highest quality materials and are actually guaranteed to last as long as you own your home. In fact, the only thing as reliable as Rainer is the company who installs it. To find out more about worry-free Rainer garage doors, call the AVE Doors and Windows man in Allentown. Because quality doesn't cost, it pays.
Back with George Steinbrenner's best friend and Tony Coca. I'm Bob Dady. As we start quarter number 2, Wilson gets on the board first. And number 24 for Wilson, and that is Juan Lozano is going to boot this one away. High, end over end. Down to Daly at the 5, 10, 15, 20, 22-yard line. And corralled at that point, first down for Notre Dame.
Maybe he doesn't need the wind at his back, Bob. Put that one down deep going into the wind.
Easton continued its winning ways last night with a very impressive victory over Bethlehem Catholic. Steve Schiffert's gang now looks for the postseason. And, of course, they have a date around Thanksgiving with another small unknown school called Phillipsburg. And, boy, they're having a great, great year.
2 unbeaten.
Well, if they get a full house in an ordinary year, quote-unquote, they should have a full house plus SRO. Pranick straight ahead to the 23, a gain of 2.
They run that little delayed draw with their fullback, and Wilson sort of sitting on that one waiting.
Good to see Bob Ada here working in the radio broadcast, former, well, still a color analyst and former coach at Central Catholic. He used to work with me doing color and radio a long time ago back in the 80s. Robert Ada. Julian will stand back at the 15-yard line for this second down, 8th play. They're coming. Pass completed to number 14, Matt Pulsini, gets across the 30 to the 32, and that's very, very close to a first down.
A right call for the blitzing defense. Wilson brought the house that time, and all he did run the little bubble screen, wide receiver coming in toward the middle. There's a reception. You got a little bit of a convoy now escorting, and a nice game.
On Bob Dady's World this week, for all you folks that listen to WLEV 100.7, their morning team will be on with us Tuesday night at 7:30. Kelly Travis, Rick Edwards, fun people, straight ahead for maybe a yard at best.
From this guy saw the whole thing.
Little motion at that time. Tried to get the defense to shift. Did not. Was ready for Kranick coming over the middle.
Tony, and that is close enough, by the way, for a first down, and that'll be Notre Dame's third. Tony Coca, surprised now that Notre Dame seems to have gone more back to the ground game versus throwing on every single down.
Yeah, it's like I can't get a feel for what they want to accomplish down here, but when they are running the ball in the middle, I'll tell you what, I'm impressed with both teams, like their middle of their defense, very quick, flying to the football. You're not really seeing a lot of success inside the tackles. Everything seems to be in the perimeter where they're spreading everybody out, and that's how Wilson got down there to score, and that's how Notre Dame's sort of moving the ball now.
Julian to the sideline to Lewis, incomplete at the 40-yard line. Just off the fingertips. Good coverage by Wilson's Joe Gerbino. And his mom and dad are saying, yeah, kid, that's the way to do it.
That was a great coverage. That's simply a fly pattern. He goes and Lenahan puts it up. Whoop, excuse me, Julian puts it up. And the inside coverage.
Watch this, Coach. A little contact there, but all incidental, as they say.
Come on, Trevor, let me feel you, buddy. Here we go.
Second down at the 31. Notre Dame not mounting any sustained drive of any consequence so far. They did early on in their first offensive set. Now they've kind of settled down, and here's another pass to the sideline. Caught at the 42-yard line. Paul Del Vecchio says, I'll take it, and he got it. First down.
Well, they came right back to the previous pass play. All is simple fly down the side. Del Vecchio comes away holding his hand on that one, Bob. This time the coverage was by number 7, Ryan Holmes.
Finally over midfield at the 44-yard line. 7:40 remaining in the half. We got ourselves locked up in a pretty good football game to conclude the regular season. Julian looks, fires, nice. Ooh, defensive effort. Coming up to make it was none other than Sean Hoffman. He can play both sides of the ball.
Pretty good play all around. Nice pattern by the receiver, and a real good job of Julian ducking a blitz, and then the over-the-shoulder defense.
Second down on that last one. Let's watch it.
Watch the duck. Evade the rush. Right on the money. Had run the curl, and their good defense stays with it.
Looking at Matt Walsh that time. One pump, fire, sort of middle. Intercepted at the 40. Down the sideline. 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Alex Stocks.
Oh, boy. Bobby, that goes for 55.
Well, you're not going to see Mark Julian throw too many of those in the course of a year, but, boy, that one was right across the middle, and Stocks came up and took it away. Watch this.
Score this one to a little bit of confusion. What does the pump fake have anything to do with it? Kranick does not realize that he's the intended receiver. He's ready to do a little downfield blocking. There's the pursuit and the catch-up, but the slip.
And the extra point brought to you by Lehigh Valley Mazda dealers. Here's the boot. It's up, and it is good. John Campbell adding the PAT, and Wilson now has jumped out to a 14-0 lead.
When you need a prescription filled, who do you turn to? Walters Pharmacy. Walters Pharmacy compounds prescriptions and takes filling prescriptions as their #1 priority. At Walters, you'll save time. Trust Walters Pharmacy for convenience with free, fast delivery in the city of Allentown. You can visit walterspharmacy.net and email the pharmacists with questions. Since 1937, Walters Pharmacy, making life easier through genuine care.
It's clear that the world of energy is more complex than ever. With heating oil prices 35 to 40% higher than last year, Apgar Oil Company can save you money by installing a high-efficiency EFM oil-fired heating system. If your oil heating system is older than 1971 or efficiency is lower than 75%, it's time to replace it now. Make the intelligent choice and enjoy the warmth and the tax-free savings that a new oil-fired heating system by Apgar Oil Company provides. Call Apgar Oil Company for your free estimate.
And we are back on this sunshiny day. Not particularly warm, but certainly not cold by football standards. About 50 degrees up in the press box here at Notre Dame, where Russell Perry is the public address announcer. He just came over to get a cookie to salvage his wounds a little bit. He was from the Notre Dame class of '67 and doesn't like what he sees right now. Does a great job on the PA system. All right, let's get it going again. Here's the boot toward the sidelines, and they're going to kick it away from Daly. He catches up with it now at the 10-yard line to the sideline. 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Got to get by. One tackler does not. Gets to the 45 and the 50-yard line, and finally out of bounds.
I'll tell you, that was a pretty good job, Bob.
You bet.
He was close side. If he had no room to even watch this, he's almost out of bounds already. So, well, obvious reverse the field. Nope. Right back up the sideline. Boy, makes something out of nothing.
Tony, a touchdown, an interception by a touchdown, and almost a return on the punt or the kickoff. Notre Dame needs a big play to get back in this thing. Agreed?
You know, that ball came loose for another 10 yards, Bob.
At the 48-yard line, first down. Let's see if Julian can get something going here. Pass, and it's complete for about 5 yards. And the completed pass to Brian Jung.
Hey, let's go 3-0. 3-0, let's go, Blue.
Second down and 5.
Talked a little bit about Coach Comp. His thoughts. Dave Brown on the other side. Defensive coordinator at Notre Dame, moved up to the head job this year, and all pumped up and everything positive. These two guys complained about absolutely nothing.
Delvecchio and Jung are wide to the far sideline. Julian fires. Caught or not by Delvecchio. One official on the sideline says no. Actually pointed to the umpire, says I couldn't see it from where I was. You take the call. Good working team this game.
Good to point that out, Bobby. Call cannot be made. He's blinded, so he points to the ump. Ump comes back and says, and we had it on camera. Ball and ground showed.
Just about on average, Julian is close to his 50%. Actually, he's a little over his 50% completion rate today. But it hasn't resulted in any big plays or any scores for Notre Dame with 6:20 to go in the half. Still close enough. If they get one here, they can get back in this football game. Julian looking, can't find anybody. Here comes a flag. He's going to carry it to the 40 and takes a good hit out of the sideline. Coming up is Ryan Holmes on the tackle, and we'll have to wait and see what the penalty is.
That flag was thrown by the umpire, and it's always in a hold area.
You want to let them, they're going to go for it, right? They're going to go for it. Do you want to take them back and do get another shot? I think we hold them if we take them back.
While we're waiting for them to get this all straightened out. Tony Coca, 14-0 on the interception pass, the intercepted pass. Notre Dame comes back with a good return. Now we'll wait for this call, and we'll ask you for your thoughts thus far. Here's Joe Diorio.
On the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat third down.
If I was any other type of offense, you're sort of in a panic maybe a little bit. But when you have a kind of passing attack that Notre Dame has, you can get the 14 points back real quick. I mean, right now, it's a little bit of a struggle because what I'm seeing down here, Dick, I don't know if you're seeing it on the monitor, his receivers have to come back to the ball. Well, a lot of these defensive plays are being made because the defender's waiting for the ball to come to him instead of him closing the distance between the quarterback and the ball. And that's something I think Coach Brown will address with his receivers at halftime. But with this kind of offense, guys, 14 points, they can make it up in 30 seconds. Back to you.
Jung and Del Vecchio wide to the far sideline. Now somebody did something. Side judge will come in and tell Joe DiOrio what the calls. Should be encroachment. You're right.
Almost happened the last play. Good point, Tony. Real good point.
Dead ball, encroachment on the defense, 5 yards from the previous spot. Repeat third down.
Thank you, Joseph.
You mentioned getting it on the monitor. We had it perfectly on that great over-the-shoulder defense. He simply ran the curl and then no movement toward the ball.
What, he's picking the ball up? Oh, his head. Center popped his head up like he didn't all game. That's the whole game. Don't do that. Every yeah, but he goes like this. That time he went boom.
I understand we're getting a
lot of
family,
Wilson. Yeah, feedback.
A family tree situation here. Ted Bersink, actually the Notre Dame announcer, is a graduate of Wilson. So and they're welcoming each other's press box. That's nice. Usually they throw each other out. Here's Julian looking, going to the far sideline, and he's going to be corralled and thrown down. Nice play by Josh Ruoff.
Well, Ruoff put the pressure on before and he got by, but not this time. This time the big guy simply does his job. He boxes, doesn't want to let him get to the outside, the long reach, and the down.
Well, Coach, you can pretty much see why Notre Dame has stayed with this passing game all season long. For this game so far, Notre Dame has rushed 8 times for 18 yards. You're not going to win any football games that way. Thank goodness for the hand of Mark Julian and his passing. They've really done well. Here's a fake. McAvoy looking downfield for somebody open. Now he fires complete pass, but it's going to be way short of a first down. And Wilson will hold and take over.
From punt formation, you have McAvoy back there. Wilson 10 men up. They drop 2, so they had to return on. McAvoy does spot a receiver short, but not nearly enough.
Wilson takes over for first down at their own 48-yard line, and they've been blessed with
4.5 minutes, Bob, so they got time with good field position.
All game long, they've started in the situations where they have a great opportunity to put some points on the board. Lenahan on a keeper now as he crosses the 50 and the flag comes down. Tony, working out of the shotgun as Notre Dame has all season long and today as well, does that not kind of water down the running game to the point where all your
on the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, repeat first down.
Where your opponents now don't have to worry so much about the running game, and they simply say, well, let's just key on this quarterback and watch those wide receivers. And if you shut down that, then you've really shut down the team as a whole.
With the empty nest backfield that he has here with the shotgun, yeah, that really does it. But I think what you have to start to do is you put your 2 backs in the backfield, and now you start running some kind of counter or some kind of quick trap with your 2 backs, and that's going to keep the defense a little bit honest. The next time you go into the gun, you might motion one of the backs out of there, and now you have the quarterback in a run-pass situation and really messes up the defense's mind.
Okay. Hand off inside. Hoffman a little skip and a jump to the 40-yard line. Boy, he is quick as a cat as he gets across the 40 to the 42. Nice run by Sean Hoffman.
And a good time to point out, Bob, 10-yard penalty. How comes we got penalized more than 10 yards? Don't forget, it's a spot of the foul. So the 10-yard hold turned into about 17 yards because it was done in the offensive backfield.
Clock continues to wind down. 3:40 remaining in the first half. Hope you enjoyed Lafayette Colgate today, and of course this one.
Another one. Looks like they lined up off sides, Bobby.
Head ball, encroachment on the offense, 5 yards, repeat second down.
I like wiring up the officials, don't you, Coach?
Oh, yeah, I enjoy that. You get, bird's eye view and the bird's eye call.
Pretty good officiating all season long, with the exception of a game here and a game there. But most of it that we have seen this year has been very, very good. These guys get better and better, and That's really what you got to do to make this game credible. Here's Hoffman straight ahead for about a yard.
Very logical third down delay call. We're going to get a timeout now. Notre Dame, they do want to get the ball back with some minutes on the clock.
District playoffs next week, next 2 weeks. After that, state tournament kicks in around Thanksgiving or a week before, a weekend before, for about 2 weeks. And then, round ball, coach.
Go inside. Go inside.
Turn up the heat. Take off the coat. Get out of there in about 65 minutes and go home. All right, here's the trivia question, Coach. Easton High School's Red Rovers are the second winningest football team in Pennsylvania history. Name the first. That's a pretty good accomplishment, don't you think, for a team around here? Considering how many high schools are, well, there's 500 school districts in the state of Pennsylvania.
Obviously, people looking for the answer, the few that don't know, you got to associate tradition in that number one spot. You talk about traditional football. Although they're struggling this year.
Yes, they are. Brett Comp out to talk to Joe Diorio about something. Holmes is wide to the far sideline. And Brad Walter to the near sideline. Hoffman in motion. No backfield.
Emptiness backfield Tony talked about.
Here is Lenahan looking. Now he's going to fire downfield. It's caught at the 30-yard line. And on his feet, Hoffman to the 25, to the 22-yard line. How about that, as Mel Allen would say?
Well, it appears, and we had the great view, that Lenahan was going to struggle to try and get that deep one off. Somehow, some way, it is recognized. Receiver knows it's going to come up short, so he comes up in front of the defender and makes the catch in traffic.
Not the greatest of passes, but the receiver was open, and he pinpointed it, and that's all that counts. First down, and that is their fourth. Not a lot today. Lenahan back to pass, turns, looks, fires toward the sideline. Incomplete. And it was intended for, I believe it was number 26,
Adam Thomas. Adam Thomas, number 2 receiver, 5'7", 140. Only a sophomore. The 13, John Campbell down here loosening that leg up. They are in field goal territory.
Again, operating out of the eye. Lenahan keeps the ball straight ahead for about a yard. Tony Koke, you're down at the sideline, and after all the years you spent in coaching and as knowledgeable as you are about the X and the O's of this football game, does it ever get that funny, itchy feeling like, I'd like to do this one more time, maybe one more game?
Yeah, it gets itchy, but guys, I'm having a great time here. I really am. I haven't watched the game film all weekend, and I get to watch my beloved Eagles on Sunday.
Oh, please. All right, second down, back to third down. Here's Lenahan, got to air it out toward the end zone. He goes to the end zone, and it is intercepted. Will it count? Yes, it's going to go Notre Dame's way. Good interception by Paul Del Vecchio, and that kills this drive.
Yeah, he spots his prime receiver, and it's going to go that way. And Del Vecchio spots him, too, and boy, he is Johnny on the spot. That's good D, Bobby.
Watch this play.
He's looking all the way.
Yeah, it's spiral.
Intended receiver right there has him fronted. At the very back of the end zone. Measured well. Good defense, Mr. Del Vecchio.
About 90 seconds or thereabouts, 100 seconds left in the half. Let's see if Notre Dame can attempt to keep it on the ground. Kronick straight ahead.
Well, they have that draw from the shotgun well down in their defensive scouting report.
And you're right about these young coaches. Just being around them, to listen to them talk, they know the lingo, they're smart, they love the game. They still got a lot of They have their youth, which is really the name of the game in this business anymore. Back to pass, Julian. He's going to air it out toward the side, to the middle of the field. Incomplete. Nice.
Good effort.
Intended for Chris Lewis at midfield, and had he caught that, he would have been gone.
He caught a 60-yarder last week for a touchdown. He's over 300 yards coming in via reception. It's a good effort.
All right. While we're waiting, a minute left in the half. There's a timeout here. 14-0 Wilson. Be back in a moment.
He doesn't report to a management committee. He doesn't report to a marketing department. He reports to Mary Johnson's arthritis, to Sally Wickstrom's upset stomach, and to Greg Porter's poison oak. He's your family prescription center pharmacist. He lives and works right here in town, so that means he reports to you. Call Family Prescription Center today at 866-0709.
Taking the time to care. Family Prescription Center.
The fastest internet just got faster. RCN Megamodem Mach 7 soars past the competition. It's way faster than DSL or any other cable modem. With download speeds up to 7 megabits per second, it's the fastest residential internet connection you can get. More speed means faster music and game downloads, faster surfing, faster telecommuting. You name it, nothing's faster than RCN Megamodem Mach 7. Call 1-800-RING-RCN to order now.
And we are back with our crew. Tony Coca down at the sideline and Dick Tracy upstairs. Tony, a minute to go. Keep it on the ground or go for a long one?
You know, last game, you're 5-4. What are you playing for? There's no tomorrow. Let's let these kids have fun. I'd try to get something down the middle, though, some kind of deep post pattern.
Okay. They have cookies up here, not bad. Julian, going to go right to the middle. You're right, incomplete. And it was intended for Jake Hughes and knocked down at the last moment.
Tony made the point earlier about coming back for the ball. That time, by the time he makes his cut, the ball is on him. Really no opportunity. Receiver to come back.
Fourth down with 58 seconds to go on McAvoy. He will go back to the 5-yard line to punt this thing away. And waiting to receive it is Brad Walter and Ryan Holmes.
See if they go for the block, Bobby.
Snap.
Nope, peel.
Nice high spiral. Holmes looking at it at the 45. It's taken instead by Walter, and he's hit immediately and dropped at the 46-yard line. But again, we said this a dozen times, great field position for Wilson, first down.
That was a little bit of I got it, no, I got it, no, I got it.
Kind of
no
like
opportunity for a return.
Kind of like the Yankees. I got it,
hey,
you got it.
Boy, you're brutal today. That's why when you put Tony down on the sideline, he can't start that stuff.
I was going to call you after game 1 and game 2 and game 3, and then I figured I'm not going to call you after game 4. Or after it was 3-3 and they finally lost. But they're going to come back. They're preparing. Probably get Johnson from the Diamondbacks, maybe. Back to pass, looking, Lenahan straightens out, fires across the middle, completed at the 40, 35, 30, 25 yards, still on his feet, 15-yard line, Brad Walter, 10, 5, touchdown, Wilson.
Wow, Walter. That's just a good play all around. Lenahan steps up, beats the rush. He really doesn't step up that far, just enough to let Walter clear. And what a job this lad has done. Walter's numbers are truly astounding for the year. The biggest thing about Brad Walter, he is averaging 30 yards a catch, Bob. Wow. 30 yards a catch.
John Campbell will try to add the extra point for the Lehigh Valley Mazda dealers. He boots it up. It's high, and it's bullseye. And with 38 seconds to go, it's now a three-score, 21-0 Wilson lead. Be back in a moment.
trusted to carpet your home.
Today, the choices are overwhelming. Make it simple. Make it Mohawk Color Center.
Celebrating 125 years of Mohawk commitment to floor covering quality, comfort, and style.
Mohawk Color Center, where the value of family and an appreciation for the simple beauty of home are woven into everything we do.
Mohawk Color Center. Simply the right way to go.
Visit R&J Carpet Connection, 922 North 3rd Street in Whitehall.
You think about the conditions people have to drive in, how they're not always perfect. Then you build the 2005 Volvos with electronically controlled all-wheel drive. For confidence on any road.
Not particularly impressive numbers for DJ Lenahan, 3 for 7. But when you see 110 yards out of those 3 completed passes and 3 scores, you could be 1 for 14 as long as you get it in the end zone and you score and your team wins. The numbers really don't mean a whole heck of a lot.
Walter with 818 yards coming in, Bob. A banner day would put him over 1,000 as a receiver, and a very astounding high school receiving mark of 11. That's his 12th touchdown.
A little squibbler by Lozano to the 35-yard line. Notre Dame drops on the ball at that point. Mark Bleiner, and it's going to be first down for the Crusaders. We'll be interviewing next week week after next, in addition to the folks on WLEV and some other people. Chris Martin, who's the president and CEO of Martin Guitar, going to bring out a guitar, Dick, that is worth $1 million. All the diamonds encrusted in it. And speaking of a guy who's worth $1 million diamonds, is Bob Frankenfield bringing up food. You're close to our heart, Mr. Frankenfield. Here's Julian winding up, going to the sideline, incomplete. Looking for Del Vecchio all the way. Not so.
Pattern mostly the sideline pattern and was thrown more toward the middle. But you're right, he really heard that one out.
Del Vecchio's enjoyed a great year this year, Coach. 40 receptions for 628 yards, 7 touchdowns, averaging about 16 yards every time he touches the ball.
Yeah, and also had a 3-point field goal in there.
Yeah.
Mine as well.
I've left.
No, he did. He got a 45-yarder in there. Excuse me, 45 points on the year with that 3-point field goal.
So Steinbrenner was at your house, huh? And I'm watching you, and going, really? Oh, wow. Stocks came up and almost picked that baby off, and it would have been a second return for a touchdown.
Oh, he knew it. He knew it too, Bobby.
Big smile on his face, looking toward the sideline. He's like, man, that close, Coach.
Wilson with 4 linebackers to take that under coverage away. Gave him a three deep across in the back, and boy, he won't have more golden opportunity than that.
Julian has thrown 20 times here in the first half.
Well, we're right on number then. We said between 35 and 40.
Sure. 29 seconds to go on this third down play. Handoff. Fake handoff to Craddock. Julian keeps it, didn't fake anybody out. No gain, loss of 3. That'll bring up a 4th down. Notre Dame will have to punt, and Wilson says, and we want a timeout to boot.
Good opportunity to set something up. I just thought I saw the signal. They're going for the block, Bob. Single receiver this time, so that adds 1 up front.
Well, as Coach Coca pointed out with this running game and trying to establishing a running game along with your passes, Notre Dame is 9 for 20. Julian, 9 for 20 passes for 52 yards. Their rushing has been 10 carries for 18 yards. Okay, here we go with the Kraus Dodge trivia question of the game. Easton's Red Rovers are the second winningest football team in Pennsylvania history, named the first. And the answer is Mount Carmel with 742 wins.
Red Tornado.
Yep, and Easton, let me see.
Well, I said, though, Yeah, and not as well. I think they have 3 losses, and that for them is just not accepted.
Easton at 705. So they're about approximately 40 victories apart. Probably not going to catch the Red Tornadoes, but here's the 4th down punt by Notre Dame. Oh, look at this baby. Oh, did he whistle this one back to the 15-yard line, and watching it dribble to the sideline, Brad Walters, and that's where Wilson's going to have it. Coach, wow, what a boot.
With the wind at his back, what do we have there?
Well, let's figure that one out.
You bet we want to figure that one out.
Bounced at the 15 and went out of bounds. So that's 35 on this side.
I had it at 61, Bob.
That's right. I was just going to say, yeah, 61 yards.
58. Well, my math's never too good.
Yeah, well.
58. That's not bad. And no return.
McAvoy. I like the way that young man boots the ball. He'll have a future somewhere if he keeps that up. Lenahan now underneath center. Will just put his knee to the ground, and that will be the end of the first half of football here at Wilson High School. Well, it's been all the Wilson High School for the first 2 quarters of this football game, but there's a lot more coming up, and we will be back at halftime to go over the stats, the highlights, and whatever else we happen to think would interest you. At halftime, it's Wilson 21, Notre Dame nothing. Dick and I will be back in a moment.
Go get Yaakov. You know it's always been the best. Let's go get Yaakov. For quality that beats the rest. They got cheesesteaks, French fries. The famous Yaakov hot dog is known worldwide. Let's go get Yaakov. The secret sauce is one of a kind.
Yaakov's, an Allentown tradition.
When a customer buys their first new car from Scott Chevrolet, it's usually for the great price and selection.
When they come back, it's because we did everything right the first time, both in sales and service.
And no dealer in the Valley has higher customer loyalty than Scott. Choose from over 350 Chevrolets in stock, Impalas, Cavaliers, and our excellent selection of trucks.
One visit, and it's easy to see
what's made us #1 for over 30 years. Scott Chevrolet on the Lehigh Street Auto Mile.
We are back. We want to remind you that the game today brought to you by Allentown Mazda Volvo and Brown Daub Volvo. They just have outstanding cars. The selection is terrific. Prices are great. The service is outstanding. And all in all, they're just a marvelous group of people to deal with. If you are looking for a car, your next one should be Allentown Mazda Volvo and Brown Daub Volvo. Okay, let's go down to the sidelines. Tony Coca.
Here I am in the seat that I finally covered it all day, guys. I got to the sofa. I'm here with
Casey Bros.
Casey, and Casey's the winner of the Spirit Couch. I'll tell you what, guys, I'm not moving the rest of the day here. I've got pizza, we got soda, I got good-looking women to my right, I got a good-looking gentleman to my left. So tell me about Spirit Day. How does this happen?
I buy raffle tickets, like these right here. I bought about 6. So I've had a pretty good chance of winning the whole time.
I got to get in on this next year, guys. We're coming back to Wilson here. How about it, guys? Who's going to win the ball game? Wilson! Here come your Warriors right now, guys. Let's stand up, give them a cheer. All right, back to you guys.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Now I got to add a wake-up call to my menu with him.
He should be on Saturday Night Live. Hey, I want to thank as we bring a close to our regular season today. And before we do that, let's go to first the stats, and then we'll talk about the people that travel with us. Okay, Coach.
Yeah, you're talking about the 2-to-1 edge. Not surprisingly in the passing yards, Bob, because we knew they were going to happen. But the fact is that Notre Dame only has a total of 52 yards. Add the 18 you're holding them to 70 yards total offense in one half.
The rest of the numbers pretty much not much different.
See, Wilson hasn't had to throw as much, Bobby. And now, you know, they're resting easily on that big 3-touchdown pad. They can concentrate in the running game even more.
As I was saying, I wanted to, you want to do highlights now, Chris? No? Okay. All right. Let's bring it back here. Want to thank, as we close out the football regular season. Of course, we start the playoffs next week. But these are the folks that travel with Dick and I and Tony Coca throughout the course of the season, and certainly during basketball as we travel the highways and byways and spent a lot of evenings together. And in fact, from Labor Day until about the end of March, we're with each other probably more than we are with members of our family. To Glenn Ramaley on camera and Bob Ward, Fran Carey, and Mike Kingsley do excellent job with all of the figures you see in front of you. The pictures, just outstanding. Paul Lewis is on the field helping Tony Coca and Glenn Ramaley. Brian Vogt is our graphics person. Court Cordoza is on replay. Craig Bortz, of course, on audio. Chris Popick pulls it all together as our executive director, and, of course, my sidekick, Dick Tracy. So, gentlemen, thank you very, very much for a great job all season long again, and we'll start this all over again during the playoffs, and then part 2 with basketball as we begin in December and finish up in March. And it's been a delight to work with true professionals. Okay, Tony, Dick, any thoughts?
Yeah, while you were talking, Bob, again, I'm patting the back the crew because they picked up the real highlights of the game. The interceptions, big damage. One of them returned the entire distance for Wilson in the person of Alex Stocks from his linebacking spot. But the highlights have been a Wilson domination so far. You know, without the numbers, but certainly on the board. And they got to that one big thing that both coaches talked about, and that was establishing some form of running game. Wilson has been able to do so. And, of course, taking charge of that would have to be number 30, Sean Hoffman.
Well, you know, this Lenahan and Mark Julian from Notre Dame, certainly a couple hundred passes this season between them. Lenahan, as you pointed out, Dick, really didn't have to throw a whole heck of a lot. He only threw seven times. Yeah. But, boy, the numbers 110 yards after that really tell the whole story.
Yeah, and one of those, of course, the picture pass play, we got a great shot of him stepping up in the pocket, just doing a great job, and then giving the lead to Walter, and he's a sprinter. And, boy, he showed us something with the yards after the catch.
Well, I like this Wilson team, and as Coach Com told you and I and Tony before the game that it's still a very, very young football team, and they're looking forward to next year.
Good point, Bobby. This is a Wilson team that starts offensively 8 softs, 2 juniors, and 1 senior. And with that youth, they've already gotten a year of experience. And this is the second year of experience.
They've lost a couple of games this year by an eyelid or an eyebrow. I'll tell you, they could have won it. And this is a good football team. Here is the kickoff taken by Brad Walter. He's coming to the near sideline at the 15, and he goes, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. And he gets buried at the 15-yard line, and that's where Wilson takes over.
Yeah, adding to that, and I thought it was a real good, I thought a very confident comment. Not necessarily cocky, but confident. He said, you call up any one of the head coaches of those 3 losses, and you ask them who they'd like to play least. He said, I bet they'd say Wilson.
I believe you're right.
Generating from, you know, his thoughts of how far they have come since the first game of the year.
Well, the entire Colonial League, the folks here, the administrators, the coaches, they don't get much better. Don't get much better. Lenahan now and a handoff inside to Hoffman. Hoffman's going to get to the 25 for a pickup of about 5, and that'll bring up a 3rd down and 5. Make that 2nd and 5.
They do. You're right, Bobby. They do make all attempts at performing a class act. Example, how about Tony Curry down at the refreshment stand? He's the visitor, and he said, let me pick up the tab.
Yeah. And you don't get too many people around us that want to pick up the tab. Not the way these guys eat. But, yeah, Tony is always a perfect gentleman, and when we go to Notre Dame, they just lay out just a wonderful dinner for all of for the RCN crew, and just perfect hosts. What a way to good make a living. Here's a pass out to Ryan Holmes at the 30, still on his feet. Broke a tackle, 35-40, and finally pushed out of bounds. But here comes a late flag.
Now the umpire was busy with his hanky. That usually mean in the pack. And coming out of the pack, it's usually a hold.
And here's Joe Diorio, the referee.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat second down.
Handsome guy.
Yeah, Joe's pretty much of a class act. Knows wife and family real well.
And the umpire picks up the ball, walks casually back to the 10, and okay, they're getting like us now, the coach. Is that 10 yards or 9, or is that 11? Oh,
just don't ask Tony.
He's down on the couch and eating pizza. He doesn't care.
See who can catch it. It's quick, simply a spot pass.
All right, second down and about 17. Lenahan back, hands off to, you guessed it, Hoffman, far sideline, 12-yard line, back to the 10, back to the 8, lands up at the 4. Not the way he wanted to go.
Pretty good disciplined football that time, but Crusaders. Probably the guy who made the play wasn't even in on the tackle. He says, no, Mr. Huffman, you're not going outside. Wedged him in. Here comes the offside support.
Well, Saucon Valley and Dick Bowman and his staff over there having a terrific year. Congratulations on a 10-0 season. Are they good or what, Dick?
Yeah, and of course, everybody's pointing already to a possible rematch with Northern Lehigh.
Got to keep Jim Tack from getting too excited about that. Even the thought kind of makes that art go boop, bloop, bloop. Here we go. Lenahan back to the 3. Looks, fires downfield. Got his man at the 30. It's Hoffman. Guess who? And to the 28. Now he's going backwards, now forwards, and down he goes. And what a tough character this kid is. To the 33-yard line, that's a big first down.
The sophomore with senior moves showed us something with the maneuvering after the catch. Good protection. Boy, look at that protection. Lenahan all day on that one.
5'7", 170 pounds, and he carries himself a heck of a bigger football player than that, and I think he got a knee somewhere. Third quarter action, if you just joined us, this is the Wilson Notre Dame finale of the year. Now the playoffs begin next weekend. Here's a handoff. Getting the call across the 35-yard line is Killian McCarthy for a couple. Second down and 7. Kranick on the stop.
Boy, I'm just looking, Bobby. Wilson. Campbell, sophomore, wide receiver. Thomas, sophomore, wide receiver. Walter, a junior. Labach, a sophomore. Monahan, a sophomore. Stocks, a junior. And, of course, Lenahan, only a sophomore.
Hand off inside, and that will go nowhere.
Already told you, Huffman, only a sophomore.
Wow. Is this the place to be next year, huh?
See example of the running game here. Inside run, good defense.
6.5, 8.5 to go, third quarter if you just joined us. As the sun begins slowly to set on a very nice afternoon. It was windy when we got here. It seems to have died down somewhat. Lenahan back to pass at the 25. And the balls of his feet looking, fires, and it's incomplete. Through a rope to Brad Walter, incomplete pass, and that'll bring up fourth down, and Wilson's going to have to punt it away.
He said they wanted to go to that under game, go under, beyond the linebackers and just under the deep backs. Doing a lot of that passing. This one should have been caught, certainly should have been handled.
Daly and Van Sickle Dick will go back to the 35 of Notre Dame for this fourth down punt. Pizarro's punt, nice. Bounces at the 40, 35. Another Wilson bounce to the 30, and that's where they'll down it.
Notre Dame coming off a very, very fine 9-2 record last year, 9-1 in the Colonial. They lost in the first round of district playoffs last year, but they were really hit hard, decimated by graduation, and one of those seniors, of course, Mr. Dan Cavani, who has put up quite the numbers for the Crusaders. So a 5-5 season for Coach Brown in a rebuilding year. Good effort.
Julian's turn now, across the middle, is tipped, and it's caught at the 45. A completed pass to Matt Polsini, 30, 20, 10, 5, and there's a flag on the play back at midfield.
Well, a very classic play. The bullet, the tip by the defender, right into the receiver's hand, the break, and then the sprint to the goal line.
Tony Coca, your thoughts, sir?
I think what you have down here is a face mask on Wilson. It's going to the play's going to stand down there. This is what I'm saying. You get this kind of offense, you're going to get back into the game real quick. Now, what they have to do is obviously put it across that goal line and get that 7th point. But when you have a passing offense, you can't fall asleep, and you come back real quick.
5-yard face mask on a defense. It'll be attached to the end of the run. First down.
I'm looking for Tony Kokadick, Tracy, and there he is. He came out of the pack. That will count, as you know, and it's down at the inside, the Wilson, probably the 5-yard line.
Well, you
probably could be closer.
When you're down 3 big scores, it's the big play that, get you back into this thing, and Crusaders able to break that one off a deflection.
Spotted at the 2.5 for a 1st and goal for Notre Dame. Now they punch one in here, and that's a 2-touchdown difference. And still with the opportunity with Mark Julian to do some more. Hand off to Nate Crannick to about the 1. Julian says that's a touchdown, referee, and not quite. It's about at the half-yard line.
Went to a very tight formation, one back set behind Julian. You know it's Crannick. It's just about where is he going to try to put it in. Probably see the same formation, same type play again.
We came in here to the press box, and they had 2 big containers of chocolate chip cookies and some other things that were mixed in with there. And
well, Tony sold some.
They're straight ahead for Mark Julian, and that will be a touchdown, Notre Dame. It took 3 quarters, but that both trays are empty. Notre Dame gets it down now to 2 touchdowns and an extra point. As McAvoy will try the PAT, sponsored by Lehigh Valley Mazda dealers, as they've been with us all year on the sponsorship of the game and the PATs, which are so very much an important part of a football game. Here's a snap, ball down, boot up, blocked. They were coming, and they got it. And with 7 minutes remaining, 3rd quarter, it's now Wilson 21 and Notre Dame 6.
Allentown Business School means absolute success with degrees in medical, technology, business, design, and legal studies. You get the right skills from specialized training that can put you on the road to success in as little as 18 months.
I graduated in September. By October, I was already working. 18 months, you're in, you're out, and you're on your way into the workforce.
When I came here and graduated in 18 months, this was probably the best thing that I've ever done.
Call ABS today and discover absolute success tomorrow.
The 265 horsepower, 7-passenger Acura MDX. It's at home just about any place on Earth.
We are back at Wilson High School as Notre Dame now will boot the ball away, and Wilson will have an opportunity. And we're going to take another look at that touchdown, by the way.
The old quarterback sneak. Been in the books forever. PAT attempt.
Watch this one. Here they come.
Just a little bit mishandled. Throws it off by the split second, and that's all the defense needed. Here's Bob. Notice this kickoff. We saw this to begin the third quarter. Very smart play. Kicking it cross with the wind at his back and keeping it inbounds.
McAvoy,
That's a repeat.
Takes it over his shoulder at the 10, comes back to the 15, the 20, and he's hit at the 22-yard line, and that's where Wilson sets up shop. First down. Notre Dame Wilson player shaken up on the play. Getting up very slowly. Well, let's while we're waiting to have the injured player attended to, let's go down to Tony Coker. Tony, put yourself in the coaching spot right now. You're down 21-6 midway through 3. What's the game plan?
I think what you got to do right now is obviously you're telling your defense we need a 3 and out right now. We can't allow them to take. If you really analyze it, what Wilson did last time, they took about 5 minutes off the clock. They can't afford to take another 5 off the clock because, you know, now you're playing in the fourth quarter. There is no time. So right now your defense has to step up. You know, use that momentum of that touchdown, use the momentum of the big play, and what you have to do is sort of stifle Wilson right now and then get that ball back over there. By the way, guys, I worked my way over to the sunny side of the field. I'm working on my tan so that when I get next week, I heard they have a sofa bed waiting for me over there. Back to you guys.
You're going to get a sofa bed, all right.
Tony, do the Crusaders gamble a little bit with 9 or 10 in the box right now?
I think what you have to do is, you got to force Wilson to put the ball in the air. You know, even though I think we're talking to Coach at halftime, you know, he's very pleased with the passing. I think what he in his mind, his passing game isn't given the credit that is deserved. And I think he's sort of like saying, hey, look, we can throw the ball too. We're just not a running team. So Notre Dame has to still play it honest, but I think they got to start creeping up a little bit, take that ball away. Back to you guys.
I want to say hello to Roger Pulsini from Northampton County as well, the courthouse. His nephew is Matt Pulsini, and you've heard that name a couple of times. A lot of family here. Here's a straight ahead to the 28-yard line. Carrying is Chris Labatch. Cranick on the stop. That's going to bring up a 2nd down and 5 for Wilson.
I didn't notice any defensive changes, really, but I noticed a lot more aggression.
You two fellas, now that we're at the end of the season, any surprises with any of the football teams? And we'll pick it up after this play. And I'm thinking specifically in the Colonial League with Saucon Valley going undefeated straight ahead. Look at this. Hoffman still going 30, 35, 37, 38. Oh, man, what a workhorse this young man is.
And able to protect the ball.
I assume there's no surprises in LVC with Easton being where they are, but anything else you fellas look forward to in the playoffs, Dick?
Well, one of the main points is surprise is not all positive. There are a few negatives in there. You know, teams that we thought potentially could have done a lot more with a one-loss record than was represented in the year.
First down for Wilson at the 38-yard line. Lenahan, the 3-step drop across. Boy. He's got his man at the 50-yard line to the 45. Nice catch. 26 on the receiving end is Adam Thomas. And Lenahan's now showing why he passed for over 1,000 yards.
Yeah, some coaches run that free route, Bob. They allow their receiver to run his own route, and the quarterback, that's simply a little slant right in front of the deep back. Again, just enough to clear the linebackers.
Another first down for Wilson at the Notre Dame 45, and this is what Tony Coker said Notre Dame cannot do. Again, Hoffman on the carry to the line of scrimmage. Bethlehem Catholic having surprisingly less than stellar year this year.
Now they went out of the league in those first 2 games, Bob, and they were pitched 2 shutouts against them in their first game against very, very good competition.
And that to some extent, that could have taken a little bit of the wind out of their sails too.
And how?
And to get shut out in the process of getting beat. Here is Lenahan on the keeper. Quarterback keeper to the sideline, and he's going to get about 2 very, very tough yards before being knocked down, and they'll bring up a 3rd down on about 7.
Gary and I got into a similar discussion last night on the air, and one of the things we both stressed is you will not be anxious to play the power teams that you've always played. We'll be dialing, watch the replay here. Here's that short, very short option run with the quarterback keeping in mind. We'll pick up podunk, cobbler's knob, instead of going to these power teams from out of state and out of the area.
Well, it's something that I guess was started way back in the Bob Stem era and has continued. Here's Lenahan. He's going to air it out toward the sidelines, and it's caught by Notre Dame, but it's out of bounds.
Good recovery.
It's intended for Holmes, but Chris Lewis picked it off.
Good recovery by Lewis. I thought he was beat.
Quite a few people wearing shorts here today. I didn't think it was that warm when we got here. Well, he throws a nice spiral, this kid.
I wonder if that was a fade, because he lofted that one a little bit.
4th down from the 40. They're going to punt it now. And here comes a very high punt. It's going to bounce at the 20, and out of bounds it goes. Juan Lozano, he's a junior. He'll be back next year for Wilson. I'm not going to see too many seniors on this football team.
Pretty heady call by number 4. There's Coach Comp.
In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seniors on the Wilson football team. Oh, for September of next year to come by, Brett Comp's probably saying, let's get to Christmas, the spring, summer, and let's get going. Notre Dame with the 1st down. Julian at the controls, still. Pass completed. Pulsini at the 15, and he's not going to get much more.
Yeah, that's meant to go back over the middle with that wide receiver screen, but just nothing there. A lot of blue. Boy, it is a lot of blue.
You would think in the old days, well, actually, Notre Dame is still blue and gold, aren't they?
Maize and blue.
What's that?
Maize, isn't it?
Maize and blue?
Or something? I don't know.
Okay. Sometimes they wear green and gold. Julian, here comes a bullet. Oh, wow. Up at the 30 and just put it on the rope to Del Vecchio, and Paul couldn't put it down. Boy, he has some mustard on that.
I don't think he'd catch that one with a catcher's mitt. This is rifled. This is gun. Boy, no loft on that thing.
3 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. 21-6, Notre Dame trails the Wilson football team.
Brian Holmes, number 7 for Wilson, done an outstanding job today, Bob. A lot of one-on-one coverage. Look at that spread.
Julian. Here we go again, and it's incomplete up around midfield. And this time intended for Brian Jung, and that'll bring up a 4th down, and Notre Dame is going to have to punt it away.
When you spread your offense like this, you force that defense to play a lot of man-to-man stuff. And it's you against me, pal. Don't look for that safety. Come over and help.
McAvoy will stand back at about the 3.
All the way, Brad!
And Labache is respecting that foot as he steps back and lets it roll past him. 45, 40, 35, 34-yard line, and that's where it'll roll dead.
Well, the overall punting game has not suffered with that win today. From the shadow of your goal post to the opponent's 35 with no return.
Tony Coca, Notre Dame obviously not being able to get anything started here to their detriment. Now I guess it's another one of these 3 and out, huh?
Yeah, put a little onus on the defense here, but that's what defenses are for. That's what defensive coaches they always preach. Got to just go out there, do your job, work, and try to stop that offense. But I'll tell you what, the Notre Dame sideline, they're pretty excited right now. They just need to make a completion or 2 on those passes. Back to you guys.
Hoffman for about 3, 2nd down and 7. The ball at the Wilson 38-yard line. It's always a sad time of year, Dick. I don't know how you feel and Tony, but when we are approaching the winter season, especially we go down the shore, you see people boarding their places up and figuring in another 2 months we're going to see snow on this field. And just it's kind of like it's sad that this time of year ends and we look forward, I guess, to next spring already. Of course, there are some people who say, what? It's the winter time. We love that. We like that skiing and all that kind of good stuff. Straight ahead for about 2, 3rd down and 7 for Wilson.
Yeah, there are so many thoughts about fall. Autumn is actually the most beautiful time of the year, but I never appreciated Bob because my mind keeps wandering ahead to the
next season.
Yeah.
Well, when you were coaching basketball, I would assume that in your heyday when things were real, and most of the time they went well, but you look forward to the beginning of December, did you not?
Not with the weather. Go to school in the morning, it was dark. Come home at night, it was dark. I never saw the sun.
Lenahan being chased, and he's going to be sacked.
There's a bookend play for you. I know Nate Kranick, number 44, was in on it.
Boy, he's played well on defense today. Watch this. Lenahan slow in getting up. Boom.
Old sandwich.
Well, this is going to bring up a 4th down and about 15, and Notre Dame will get their hands on the football once again with a minute left, 3rd quarter.
That was an Oreo cookie, but the white was on the outside. Yeah, Lenahan is feeling it.
Comes the 4th down punt, high, not very long, but way up there. Bounces at the 50 and comes back to the 45, and that's where Notre Dame has the football.
They really gained yardage in that punt situation. Theirs went from end zone to opponent's 35. Here they'll pick it up on the opponent's 45 after a 3 and out.
John Cheney was always known for having practice sessions with his basketball teams at 6 in the morning. Did that ever, does that make sense to, well, I mean, to you, would you have, when you were coaching in high school, would you have preferred to get the kids in early instead of after school? And
did a few times.
Okay. Here is Julian going to the sideline, incomplete. Del Vecchio and Holmes was with him step for step. I could never picture kids getting up at 5 to come play basketball at 6. Here we go.
Goes for it all in the first possession after the punt exchange. Again, Holmes on the coverage.
Lee Corso was on ESPN today, and he was saying, I would have no problem having my kids come to college guys come in at 6 a.m. on a October, November morning. Shows where their heart is if they can play football at that time of day. Pass over in the corner and it's completed to Lewis at the 40, 35, 30, 25-yard line, and finally knocked out of bounds.
I tell you, Notre Dame doing a real good job of reading that blitz. Seems every time Warriors blitz, they're in a little dump-off position. That one Lenahan gets rid of Julian got rid of very, very rapidly.
Well, it's been on already, so we can mention it, Chris Popick, can we not? Sure. Normally, I'll give scores and they'll say, hey, dummy, the game hasn't been played yet. Just lost 10,000 viewers. Colgate defeats Lafayette 22-19. And Tony Coca's head just slumped down a little bit. Julian at the 40, winds up, goes to, nice catch on by number 28, and that's Brian Jung. I like this young man. And he is a senior.
I mean, he is covered by Corey Campbell, number 22, and it still comes down with the reception.
That will move the sticks. It's a first down at the Wilson 22-yard line. And if they get one here, Coach, and get two,
and you golf a little bit if you're wearing blue today,
then it's a whole different ball game going into that last quarter. Julian back, looks for Del Vecchio, ball tipped away. Red Comp, one of the cheerleaders on the side for this Wilson football team.
Brad Waller coming from his outside linebacker spot. Watch 35. Gets a piece to deflection.
That's normally what you teach defensive ends do, don't you? When they come in, get those hands up.
Well, that was part of a package deal. Yeah, Bob. You're not going to get to the guy. You know, always obstruct them. You see, it's so much along the line of scrimmage with the pros. When they get that good block on them and know they can't make the penetration on the quarterback, they just spread those wings and arms and legs and everything else.
Del Vecchio, Jung, and Lewis are wide to the right side. Here's Julian across the middle, and it is intercepted. And is it? It is intercepted. Alex Stocks. That is he'd been in the thorn of the side of Julian today. Watch this.
Stocks has been a demon on pass defense. Has one for a score, and there the knee just goes down. Boy, you figure he had a lot of cornfield in front of him, too.
He was looking at Matt Walsh. Julian hoping that the triple wide receivers on the side would draw more attention, but Wilson wasn't faked out, and the Warriors hold, and they take over at their own 18. Tony Coca, that was tough. That hurt.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt. But you know, I want to go back to what you two guys were talking up there. Think about basketball. It's always 72 degrees. I don't care if you start 4 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon. Shorts, T-shirts, and a whistle. Throwing a ball at a basket. Honest to God, I don't know who invented that sport. This is manly man stuff down here, guys.
Mano, mano. That's the end of quarter number 3.
Thank you, Lord.
Wilson 21, Notre Dame 6. We'll be back.
Fans, if you love dealing with a winning team, head to the leader, Kleckner's in Whitehall and Emmaus, featuring GE washers and dryers, GE dishwashers, GE microwaves, GE ranges, GE refrigerators. Plus, Kleckner's features free delivery, backed by their own factory-trained service department. Hurry in for best selection. Make us your last stop and see the savings on new GE appliances at Kleckner's, 2177 MacArthur Road in Whitehall and 575 Chestnut Street, Emmaus.
You think about the conditions people have to drive in, how they're not always perfect. Then you build the 2005 Volvos with electronically controlled all-wheel drive. For confidence on any road.
Mom thinks she has her next 15 minutes all mapped out. But think again, Mom, because there's always room for one more task. And just enough time for Top Star Express. Without missing a beat, Mom finds power bars, water bottles, and other snacks all in one place at Top Star Express. And with over 25 convenient locations, the field is only 5 minutes away. Score one for Mom.
Top Star Express, convenience done right.
With Tony Coca and Dick Tracy, I'm Bob Beatty back at Wilson High School. Coach, 21-6.
Good shot of Coach Brett Comp right in the middle of that Warrior huddle. And I thought the main thing in his mind right now is 12 minutes, men. 12 minutes, whenever you can. Eat some clock.
Hey, Coach Coca, I think I see 3 basketball coaches out near your car leaving the air out of the tires.
They don't know how to do that.
Oh.
The only thing that's in common is that the tire's round.
Oh, lost another 500 viewers. Straight ahead for about a yard or 2. Oh. Write all comments if you're a basketball coach to RCN in care of Tony Coca.
Yeah.
Better yet, I'll give you his home address. Look at this. Look at these people.
In the air.
Yeah. No shirts. Tomorrow they'll be
There it is again.
keeper. Now
There's the option.
Yep. Hoffman, 25-yard line, hauled out of bounds.
Now that's coaching there now. Give them a steady diet. Get them to play you, and then the little pitch.
This is a great game, though. I mean, I love football and basketball. My favorite being the sport that you are so synonymous with success, and that being round ball. And yeah, Tony, I like being in 72-degree temperatures with shorts and whistles, and sure beats freezing, you know, in November. There's the fourth down punt. Oh, look at this baby. Oh, my. Oh, it's going to hit at the 30, 25, 20, 18, 16-yard line. Oh, my, what a punt.
Well, no, that's one of those plays that works out for both teams, Bob. Get out of a hole, get the big punt without a return, but at the same time, gives them a little bit more room to get some sustained drive going and eat clock.
Could be a little hip pointer for Sean Hoffman. Well, Notre Dame now has the football and an opportunity to try to get some points once again. But now they've got to score something. Out to Lewis. Does a little head fake and gets another couple of yards to about the 18-yard line.
Playing a little rush now.
Delighted all of you have an opportunity to be with us throughout the year. Glenn Riedman and I were up to Dietzy's and Bangor the other day, and Jeff Dietz and all the good folks up there have RCN4 on their television sets. And boy, talk about a sports hotspot after a Bangor, a Penn Argyl game, basketball, football. They're all up there watching what games we do. So gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, hope you're enjoying the football game. Here is Julian going to wind up and go to Del Vecchio, incomplete at the 40. Ryan Holmes again right there. Good defensive effort. I'm impressed with Ryan Holmes, Dick.
Very good job. Pointed that out already, and there you had a good blanket coverage. That would have been the time for Julian to overthrow. He's going to beat him down to the outside, but measured well by Holmes.
Holmes is only one of 5 seniors on this football team. Timeout, Wilson. And they're going to pick up a personal foul here in the process, and we'll have Joe DiOrio calling that in a moment. Going back to get his flag, or as you would say, his hanky.
That might have been a face mask on the quarterback.
Well, they'll bring the ball out to the 33. Automatic first down for Notre Dame, and Julian at the controls, and here comes the side judge. Dick and Tony, I'll phrase this to both of you. If you were...
Dead ball, encroachment on a defense. 5 yards from the previous spot, still first down.
Okay, Joe. If you were to make any changes in the rules to make this high school game maybe a little bit more, you know, like on the pass, a 50-yard pass, it's interference at the 3 instead of marking it 15 yards from the line of scrimmage. It's an automatic first at that point. Any rules either one of you would like to see added, changed, or taken away from high school football, we'll pick it up right after this next play. Julian goes to the corner, simply overthrown, incomplete, second down.
Go to Tony first. He keeps a list in his pocket.
Yeah, Tony?
I think what happens, guys, is that we're comparing this game to an NFL game, and what happens is that fortunately for the NFL and TV, they can sell $1 million minute commercials, and so it's off. What I would like to see personally through all levels, and I think it showed with the Denver Broncos game, is that all blocking's got to be above the waist. That you got to see it. The kids are getting bigger and stronger. And the other thing I'd like to see in high school is that encroachment rule. You get into the neutral zone. If you don't touch anybody, you know, let them get back. Let them play football.
Okay. Julian on the second down to Del Vecchio at the 35, to midfield, 40, to the sidelines, 44-yard line, and wrestled down.
That play has been such a big one in the last few years. Coaches have put that in, take that wide receiver, bring him across the middle, and let that wedge form in front of him.
Now your turn, Coach.
Well, I agree wholeheartedly with Tony on that one thing, that crackback block, and boy, you got to do something with that. I mean, when it's legal, I mean, either say, hey, we're not going to do it. Well, you have to say we're not going to do it.
Chris Lewis on the reception at the 45, put down immediately, about a yard gain, second down.
And as far as his encroachment, that could easily be just offside or not. If they bump, fine, 5 yards offside. If not, look for the opportunity to get back. Anything that speeds up the game, Bob. Because with all these passing offenses that teams are employing, look at your West Coast offense, how that has lengthened the game. And of course, when you lengthen the game, you lengthen the commercials.
Sure. Second down and 7. 6:40 remaining in the game. Notre Dame pass out. Completed pass to Matt Walsh. Probably about a yard gain. I agree with both of you on that, and I say one extra, if they could just have that automatic first from the point of interference or the spot of interference. I think it might be add a little bit more excitement, but we don't make the rules. Third down, 7.
Thought we're going to see the old hook and ladder on that play, Bob. I thought the receiver went down about 7 squared and was going to look for the man to come around for that lateral. That is an old-timer.
A lot of the teams seem to be getting away from that, going over the middle and having that receiver reaching up and stretching for the ball. Here's a pass, and as I say that, here is a pass to Tom Van Sickle, incomplete. Fourth down. And at this point, I guess Notre Dame, well, they're going to punt. They're going to punt it away.
Quite a rush put on that time. Well, when you look at that time and that scoreboard and you say you know he's going to throw, it just turns those defensive men loose.
Brad Walter stands back at about the 20 in anticipation of McAvoy's punt. Snap. Here we go. Nice. And they aim it toward the sidelines very wisely. It goes to the 25-yard line, 21, and that's where Wilson will have it.
Punt there, obviously going to play 3 and out. Bring your defense, gain field position on these change of punts. The hope there from the Crusaders. There haven't been many 15, 18-yard plays for the Crusaders today, Bobby.
Well, overall, I think Dave Brown's probably going to feel that 5-5 isn't going to make anybody get very excited, but it's the first-year transition, new coach, new system, new everything, and I think he's probably pleased with what's happened. Of course, he would have liked to have done better. Here is Lenahan, 25, 30, 35, 40, 44-yard line, and knocked out of bounds.
Boy, that has been a bread and butter play.
You know who we're impressed with, Dick? Tony Koch and I, Mike Bortz.
Oh, saw him in a very crucial game, and he was injured. That's no option. Just plain old quarterback keep now. Lenahan gets him out deep hole.
I mean, how many quarterbacks rush and pass for over 1,000 yards in the season? Just incredible. Some college coach would be salivating thinking about where he could use that young man. Lenahan back at the 35, fires, and it's incomplete. And it was intended for Mike Ryan.
beyond the reach.
A lot of good quarterbacks we've seen this year, don't you think? Forts from Penn Argyl, these two young fellows, Lenihan and Julian, Alex Atia, having a good year. Anybody else?
You know who doesn't get his due? The kid from Easton, Bernard Kuhn. He is a converted quarterback. He does more with the quarterback sneak and important plays. Looks like he's been there for years.
Hoffman, little stutter step at the line of scrimmage, gets back to the line. That's about it. They, I think it was Tony Coca that Mark Julian was a guard.
Yeah, he was a guard, and then Coach saw him throwing a baseball. And you know, when you do watch his wrist, he probably was a heck of a pitcher there. So with him throwing a baseball, Coach got to see that and said, hey, you're no longer going to block, you're going to throw. We'll get somebody else to block in front of you. We can't find a bunch of those dummies anywhere.
Now we got to hear about his baseball, softball prowess. just because he recruited two pitchers.
Pass to Holmes. Oh, nice, man. They're going to call it. Yeah. Chris Lewis, a little bit too tight. And Ryan Holmes looks at the umpire, side judge, and says, uh-huh. Bobs his head up and down. You got that right.
Tony was telling Richie Mazza, the softball coach at Becker last night, that he got these two pitchers in. I think Mazza was going to have a heart attack on the field.
Well, that'll be a first down for Wilson. You be the referee here. Well, no, Coach.
We'll see it one more time. Maybe it'll help you decide.
Isn't it nice to have replay? Look at it here again.
Well, he's standing right there, Bob, so it's about a 5-yard call, that's all.
You know, let's make the NFL referees very nervous every Sunday.
Replay?
Oh, my. And review. Here's Lenihan. Got to be sacked all the way back to the 48-yard line. A loss of about 12 or 13 yards.
Nate Kranich, number 44 from the nose guard position. Good rush this time. Eludes a blocker.
Tony, I'm surprised that Wilson's even contemplating throwing the football at this point when they have a 2-touchdown lead in the fourth quarter.
That 2 touchdowns isn't a lot. I can know what the coach is saying here. Let's get this down to 4 or 5 minutes. I'll feel a little bit more comfortable. But again, if you know, it's second down here, but if Notre Dame's defense, a turnover, something like that, you know, all of a sudden this game swings. So there's still a lot of time left in this game.
6 minutes remaining. Hoffman gets the call, and he's going to get stacked up. Probably a gain of about 1.
Playing very well for the Crusaders defensively today. Number 42, Nick Sanguinito. Greg Sanguinito from his linebacker spot pursued the play that time. There he is, almost getting an ankle.
Do Mrs. Tracy and Mrs. Coca critique you guys at all at any time during the season?
Yes.
Yeah?
And yes for Tony, too.
Tony doesn't listen. Here's Lenihan back at the 45. Here he goes. Winds up. Fires. Incomplete. Boy, he can throw that football. That is down at the 10.
Receiver fell down. Defender fell down. Ball goes incomplete.
It's 40 and 10, 50 yards in the air. Fourth down. Wilson now with 5 minutes remaining in the game will punt the ball away to Notre Dame. Now Notre Dame has no choice but to use up all their 4 downs and just go for it. This is a short one. Oh, man. High as a mile high, but it hits at the 20 to the 15 and dies at the 14-yard line, and that's where Mark Julian and company take over.
Yes, so the idea for Notre Dame to punt on their previous possession didn't turn out too bad. Warrior held the ball, Bob, that time for 2 minutes and 34 seconds. And now it's out, and Notre Dame one more shot offensively.
Any particular game this year you can look back on and say, well, that was memorable in the sense that it was one of the best games I had all season?
Northern Lehigh and Saucon Valley, the atmosphere Both teams undefeated coming in, and then a real miserable playing night with the rain really beating down. And, you know, you would think very little scoring. Result 7-0 shutout.
Mark Julian with the football at the 5, across the middle of the field, intercepted, and guess who got it? Alex Storks. 10-5, touchdown Wilson. And I think they're going to call it at the 1-foot line. Alex Storks has been, Dick, an absolute, Alex Stocks rather, has been an absolute pain to Mark Julian, as that's the 3rd time he's picked him off today. Oh, boy.
Yeah, one of those he took all the way in. This one, I think, is going to be a deflection. Yeah, there's a deflection into his hands at the right spot at the right time.
And, of course, the most dangerous play that most coaches will tell a quarterback is don't go across field like that. And Mark Julian did it. Stocks got the deflection and almost took it in for the touchdown at the 1-yard line. Well, that sealed any potential comeback, and Glenn ahead now with a 1st and goal. We'll hand it off and into the end zone. A touchdown to number 22, Corey Campbell. And Mr. Campbell is a sophomore. So what's new?
Campbell, the defensive back starter as a sophomore, gets a chance on offense. From a full house backfield, able to take it in off his right side.
So it's 4:42. Wilson has drawn the curtain on Notre Dame's season and this football game as they now lead 27-6. And the extra point will be added, brought to you by Lehigh Valley Volvo dealers. Here is the extra point. It is up, and it is plenty good as Mike Hauk puts it through, and it is now 28-6 in favor of Wilson. There he is. There's a happy guy.
He is a happy guy.
He said, I got his number. Well, it's going to be a long drive home from Colgate tonight with Frank Spanny and his group. But what a great effort, 22-19 in the loss to Colgate. And that came in the last 6 minutes of play. Which sets up that Lehigh-Lafayette game in
yes,
about 2 weeks.
Set it up. You're right.
And either tomorrow or Monday, you'll be able to find out by reading your local papers what 4 teams in the Lehigh Valley Conference and Colonial League, where they'll advance in District 11, where they will play, whom they will play, and when and where. And you can judge your schedule accordingly. And, of course, some of those games will be on RCN4. Kicking off for Wilson, number 13, John Campbell. Lewis will take it at the 2. 5, 10, 15. Comes to the near sideline. 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. There he is. Puts on the extra burners. 50, 45, 40, 30, 25, 20. He is gone. Touchdown.
He duked the defense, Bobby.
Well, that interception, Dick, now adds a real twist to it, doesn't it?
For some reason, they failed to cover the outside. He did a good head fake into the middle, cut it down the side. Watch this. There's the middle. Now I'll veer. And all the blue is caught inside. Now he's going to have one more key juke and then outrun.
98 yards.
Even the angle of the approach there.
And he's out of gas right there. He went to his knee. 28-12. So that interception by Alex Stocks and the subsequent touchdown by Wilson really looms critical. Tony Coca, how about this run by Mr. Chris Lewis?
Yeah, that was really good. What happened here, he comes up the middle. The outside guys, they're going to collapse inside and leave the lane out here. I'll tell you what, I know it's the last game of the season, but if Coach Brown does show the tape, he's going to, when Wilson shows the tape, they're going to be a little annoyed They're
Absolutely.
outside contain people or pass the numbers. You know, people talk about, oh, they got a long touchdown, they were lucky they did this. You work hard on special teams, and all you got to do is just make a mistake, get out of a lane, it opens a lane, and look out, they're back in the ball game. They get this two-point conversion, onside kick, and we saw it work last week, Bob, their onside kick. Hey, who knows what's going to happen? 4:24 on the clock, look out. And by the way, my wife critiques everything. Everything. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I'm critiqued.
And that'll be met with a warm reception, I'm sure, when you get home. All right, first down for the extra point by Mark Julian, rather. Goes to the corner, got it, and the PAT is good, brought to you by Lehigh Valley Volvo dealers, and they say, congratulations, Paul Del Vecchio, you just got the PAT. And with 4:24 remaining in the football game, 28-14 Wilson.
One of the last things that Coach Brown told Tony and me before we walked up to the press box area was, boy, I need one from special teams. Well, he got a big one there.
Well, some people went to the start going down to the track and heading toward the gate, and they turned around and saw that touchdown, that return, and all of a sudden they stopped for a moment.
Well, now the ensuing onside attempt.
I want to thank Elaine Orange and, of course, Bob Frankenfield and all the administrative people here at Wilson for all their courtesies extended throughout the 2004 football season. Dick and I and Tony Coca, thank you very much for all of that. And, of course, our RCN4 crew headed by Chris Popick. And, you know, we can only do so much. We need the help of people here to get things started. So thanks, everybody. We appreciate it, and we'll see you during basketball season. McAvoy will do this little onside kick, and Notre Dame now with still a little flicker of hope left.
Yeah, he's going to cross court, cross field.
Here they go. Yeah. Whoa. And that's going to result in Wilson football at the 45.
Didn't get the number, Bob, but well played. They've been using that from the near hash marker and kicking across field the entire day. We're gonna spot the Wilson warrior that's able to handle it. Whoop. Kicked around, but kept intact. Wilson ball, Killian McCarthy.
.423, still a little bit of time left. I think it was down to 2:23. I think we could pretty well, this thing would be salted away with no problem. So these next three plays will determine whether this game is over. Hoffman ahead, straight ahead for 2.
Obviously, Crusaders want to force the turnover or another 3 and out. Wilson unpiling slowly with the clock running. Just about 4 right now.
Is that Notre Dame game at Tennessee today or at South Bend?
That's at Tennessee.
It's at South Bend?
No, Tennessee.
It's at Tennessee.
South Bend, it's dark out there already at 3:30.
One of those great days he used to play Oklahoma. Wow. Bud Wilkinson. Hoffman straight ahead over right tackle. Look at this. 45, 40, 35, 32. And that was a huge first down.
That's the gamble you take when you bunch that defense and bring them up. You get that quick hitter that breaks the line of scrimmage, Bob, and there's not much there to stop it from that point on.
Boy, he came out of there like a cat. Quick as a cat. Look at him.
Oh, good block. What a superior block. Pull block from number 52, Sean Monahan. Boy, he kicked him out.
Here comes Hoffman. I think he's just about had it today. He's going on my back, my side, my leg, my hip. You're going to know what things like that are, Mr. Hoffman, in about 30 years. Lenahan winds up, fires, caught at the 30, and put down by number 26, and that's Adam Thomas. Chris Lewis up on the tackle. I like Chris Lewis, too. He is a senior, however, and Dave Brown will lose him next year.
Notre Dame timeout now, stopping that clock at 3:18.
on behalf of the Wilson Viking Midget Football Association, they'd like to invite you all up to Palmer School.
Tony, anybody on either one of these teams stand out today as you come away from this game saying, you know, that young man so-and-so, I'd like him? I mean, we have the Lenahans and the Julians, which are givens, but anybody else on either one of these teams?
You talking to me down here?
Are you talking to me?
Oh, are you talking to me? Hey, you talking to me? Well, I just think the whole program, everything down here. But I think Lenahan's the guy that makes Wilson go. There's no question about it. I think with him, what happened, it starts with him. It actually even ends with him. The leadership, the poise, everything he shows. I don't know if they're giving a hot dog out for this one, but I would definitely take a look at him for the Yako player of the game.
2nd down and 4 from the Notre Dame 30. We got 3:18 remaining in this one. And the handoff straight ahead to Killian McCarthy, junior running back for about 2. And again, Notre Dame is going to call time. Now, you guys are very different. As much as you are dear friends for, Dick says, yeah, you're telling me, many, many years. The fact is that you'll go home and watch a football game and maybe some other sporting event, and Mr. Koken will go home and watch some horror films. I mean, it just shows you the difference in your personalities. His, we might say,
we're both
are
avid
quirks.
movie fans, really.
He's quirky, and you're just normal.
I'm jerky.
Horror films would be like watching Duke and North Carolina State play, you know. It's
you are always
basketball. No, I'm sorry, Dick. I'm
No,
sorry.
you won't get it from me. Bobby knows my feelings. The only undefeated football coach in the Lehigh Valley, by the way.
There is no other sport but football. They ought to play it year-round. They do. They're even taking that indoors. How about that? They put that inside. Wait till high school arena ball. I might try that for a franchise.
3rd down and 2. Hoffman still on his feet, finally put down, will be short of the 1st down by 1, and that'll bring up a 4th down. We're now under 3 and counting.
So Notre Dame gets the ball back for one more possession. The quick score and then another on the side.
Just goes to show you how I differentiate you guys. I saw a great football classic on RCN the other night, and I thought immediately of Dick Tracy, and then I switched around and I saw Jason Friday the 13th. I thought of Tony Koch. Well, something's really out of kilter here. 4th down. Lenahan on a quarterback keeper, and he's going to get hit, stop, and Notre Dame will take over.
And they went to the well one too many times there. They've seen that too often. Be successful for Mr. Lenahan this time. Fill and stop.
Here we go, Coach.
Watch this. Plug that gap. And the support.
Well, Notre Dame will touch the ball one more time. Julian stands back as he has throughout the game at the 25, 1st down. Looks downfield, pass incomplete. Looking for Jung, simply overthrew him.
An awful lot of blue traffic around that time.
And we'll get out of here rather quickly after the game today. So we want to thank our wonderful staff, as usual. Somebody said the other day, certainly compliment those guys, and listen, men and women. I said they are to be complimented when you do a good job. People should tell you that. Here is Julian going to Chris Lewis at the 50, and it's incomplete. So you want to thank our gang under the direction of Chris Popick, as usual. Outstanding job. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Tony Koka down on the sideline for his usual insight into everything that you would ever want to know about anything. And, of course, my good friend Dick Tracy.
Corey Campbell, number 22 on the defense that time. Young man will be looking at running time as a running back next year for Wilson.
3rd down and 10. Del Vecchio wide to the near sideline with Lewis. And And in a nutshell, this one of the next passes of the game, Del Vecchio, incomplete. Holmes almost picked it off. And I would assume that Mark Julian has thrown a little over 40 passes now so far.
From the gun, again, one receiver, and he goes from offense to defense on that pass.
Dick, why does and Tony, why do if these teams use the shotgun so effectively, some teams, then the natural question would be to follow, well, why don't more teams, instead of having that quarterback under center, why don't they just put him back there, save time, save the sacks, and be successful? We'll be back in a moment with that. Here is Julian on the fourth down play to Del Vecchio, intercepted by Ryan Holmes at midfield, and that puts the capper on this one.
Not a bad day's performance. Very easily answered. I don't know if Tony will agree or not, Bob, but it limits your offense. There's so many less things you can do.
And why do teams use it? Because they're usually stronger in the passing game?
Pass receiver, yeah.
I agree with Dick. It limits you, but if you're going to get into a passing attack, it gets your quarterback already back into his setup position. What happens then, he gets an easier read into the secondary, because his read is going to be where's the free safety and then where's the strong safety. But once he finds those two guys, then he should be able to progress through and throw the pass that he has to do. That's the positive about the shotgun. The negative about the shotgun, obviously, is your running game really gets limited unless you're going to run option out of that. And the other thing, too, the intangible, you got to teach the center to do that, and he's got to make a blind snap. So it really is a little bit of a trick teaching your centers that, especially high school centers.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Tony, for a great job again, as usual, and we'll see you in the car in a couple of minutes. Back upstairs here. 2 minutes left, and the clock will start on the back when we come back from timeout. The player of the game, Dick.
You're talking to the wrong guy. I always take a lineman or a DB or something like that. You know, to me, how did you get away from the Wilson performance by Ryan Holmes? He just played a glove on defense. Now, I'm not giving you guys. I'm giving you guys that you may certainly want to pick from. And of course, Alex Stocks. Holy mackerel! What? Yep. 3 interceptions, 1 for score, 1 for 1 foot away.
Oh, yeah, I think that's a good choice. Number 55, Alex Stocks, will be our Yuckos player of the game. Handoff inside. And now the clock will continue to run. 1:55, and all the people on the Wilson side, it's all over.
Well, it's going to be an injury timeout here. Daly going to be down for the Crusaders. John Madden would be happy with a linebacker selection, you know. The only thing is the field not messy enough, you know, and not pouring down rain. A couple of cuts and bruises of blood coming down the side of his face or out his mouth or something like that.
There he is, your player of the game. Hey, Alex.
And I didn't know he had a beard before I selected him either. That's another prerequisite.
Where do you want to go at the end of the game? I want to go to Disney World.
Oh, give me a ham bone. I want to gnaw on it.
There he goes. Look at this one.
I wonder if he throws this one in, Bob. Think he'd touch that. I know he got rid of it.
You know.
Oh, he should have 3 front teeth, don't you think?
We love Alex.
Check the note and say, come on.
Look who's next to him.
Yeah.
I've been whooping you guys at.
Hey, good job yourself, son.
Ryan Holmes, Alex Stocks. It's T.J. Daly they're attending to right now.
You don't look for the hot dogs. Tony inhaled it.
He's talking to that fellow down on the sidelines with the white shirt on and the shorts. Now, you know, Tony doesn't look too big compared to him, does he?
Tony wants those shorts for next softball season.
He's always wheeling and dealing.
We got a flock of people around the young man here.
Yeah, he's going to be
There
okay.
he's up.
There you go. All right.
We're going to get an escort off.
And this is the hit of the game. And let me tell you about the hit of the game. Get my glasses off here.
Neighbor to neighbor.
Okay. Brought to you by Slugger's Dry Diamond. The hit of the game is sponsored by Slugger's Dry Diamond. Slugger's Dry Diamond is giving away 10 rounds of hitting. To claim this prize, call 610-289-0231. Write this down, folks. 610-289-0231 on Monday at 9 a.m. and we'll pick a random caller for the correct hit of the game. Give us your name and phone number. You would like that, right, Coach?
You're to a linebacker.
And we'll get that from Chris Poppick again in just a moment. So when you call Monday, you know what you're saying. Okay. All right, Dick. Corey Campbell.
Sophomore Corey Campbell, number 22, and I believe number 42 also for the Warriors. Andy McNair. They will share the hit of the game. Jarring smash out of bounds.
We're under a minute now. And Wilson will finish the season at 6-4. Could have been 8-2, really, but 6-4 officially. Notre Dame at 5-5 to Brett Comp and his staff. Good job, fellas. Look forward to seeing you next year. Here's Hoffman. He got hit once, twice, breaks the tackle. 40, 30, 20, 10. Touchdown, Wilson. Oh, wow. Just when you thought it was safe.
What they always say, make sure you lock. Don't only hit, but on defense, make sure you lock. Bob, they didn't lock.
Oh, that was a beauty. Hoffman was just waiting to do that. And look, young man, he is. There's
Look at that pile.
Look
Can't get out of there.
Boom.
But does.
And hit. And somebody dives at him, and he is gone. I don't know how he has any gas left to go anyway. So with 30 seconds remaining, Sean Hoffman adds 6 more to his totals for this year. And number 84, Mike Hauk will add the PAT, brought to you by Lehigh Valley Mazda Volvo dealers. And there is a player shaken up.
It's going to be Hoffman.
Yeah, he was dinged a couple of times in that second half, and he was a gamer and just walked it off. But this time let's see if he did something after the run.
Well, he goes down almost immediately. Watch him turn now. He'll turn and just sink to his knees.
Whoop. Oh, yeah. Well, nobody touched him on that last run, but could have gotten a side stick maybe. There he's running at it there. Wobbly. Whoops. Alex Stock says, come on, big fella. Oh, I want the ball. No, he's favoring that hip again.
Yeah, and that's what we saw on the sideline, Bob.
Well, they've taken him off the field now, and he's on the sideline, so he's standing, but in obvious discomfort. All right, we'll have the PAT. Good game. Sean Hoffman. Great season.
Well,
Great
over
finish.
1,100 yards now, Bob, huh?
You bet.
Sophomore year.
Got that lower, looks like the lower back. And here comes the PAT, sponsored by Lehigh Valley Volvo dealers, with 30 seconds remaining in the game. And this will make it point number 35 for Wilson. Snap, the boot, it's up, and it is good. So we'll have the kickoff and probably one play, and that will wrap it up. And here comes, look at this, they're like the hockey season there with picking up the water bucket. Stanley Cup.
Here comes the baptism under fire. Coach.
Oh.
What a way to ruin a weekend.
He turns around. I want to know who put that down my back. Meet you in August.
I think he's the...
Not anymore. It starts, that's the, well, today's Saturday. Give them off Sunday. Monday in the weight room.
You think? I guess sports has become, Dick, all year round, not only at the professional level, but certainly at the college, and I think it's trickled down to the high school, don't you think?
Don't bother thinking. Be certain.
You know.
It is.
Can't take 6 months off and come back and resume like nothing happened.
You better hope your head coaches, if you're an administrator, you better hope your head coaches get along well.
$35-14. There's Brett Comp giving some...
you're all wet.
Yeah. Giving some last-minute hugs to the conclusion of a pretty good season here.
Well, if he gives hugs to his seniors, he won't be wasting much time, huh?
Right.
They're all underclass.
Here we go. Little squibbler.
Keep it on the ground, eat some clock.
And the ball be brought up to about the 40. And that will...
Marked ready for play with 26.4 seconds to go.
Hope you enjoyed the weekend of games. Lafayette and, of course, Colgate. The Leopards dropping one, a heartbreaker today in New York. And a very entertaining football game here featuring some pretty outstanding players. Del Vecchio almost got it, and he would have had 6 had he caught that ball.
Wilson came on a blitz, trying to get to that quarterback one more time and, you know, eat up some clock, Bob, and take that 26 seconds off. Instead, it's an incompletion.
Watch this. Never say die.
Almost, huh?
Julian Del Vecchio. Oh. Let me have that one back. 20 seconds remaining, second down. Now we can pack away all this stuff here and actually start the car from here. Julian back to pass. Intercepted.
One more time.
One more time.
No.
Alec, no?
Are you kidding?
Oh. It certainly is.
4.
Alex Stock says, I got another one. Hey, Mom, that's 4.
You know how the referee throws the game ball up at the end of the game, Bob? Throw it right to him.
There he is. Look at he's down the track. Look at this. Hey.
That's a victory lap.
You won't see a linebacker get that kind of attention in high school too much. First down for Wilson, and this will end the game with 15 seconds remaining. Just put the knee to the ground
Take the knee, yep.
Call it a night. And that's it. The clock will run off the final 10 seconds. Final score, Wilson 35, Notre Dame 14. Final comment from Dick Tracy, and then we're going home.
Well, you mentioned 6 and 4, Bob. It's more than that. It's a resurrected 6 and 4 from 3-7 last year. You're playing with really green youth last year. Go 3 and 7. Bring them back as experienced sophomores for the most part, and jump to 6-4. What will it be with the junior and senior year? Brett Compass smiles all over his face for more than just a victory today.
Okay, that's it from Wilson High School. Once again, to Chris Popick and everybody, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Job well done. Final score, Wilson 35, Notre Dame 14. For Tony Coca, Dick Tracy, I'm Bob Datey. Good night and good sports.